Hey, welcome into Fantasy Football Island, 3 hour draft show spectacular. I'm your host, Chad Rink. We should have other people joining us this evening. My partner on the show, co host Jeff Thidoff, may be joining us. We could have the owner of Fantasy Draft Proxies, Nathan Shively, joining us, talking about if you need someone to draft for you. Looks like maybe one or two of my co-hosts on March Chadness will join us. So, staying at my son's house where he's staying in the basement here. So, trying to find the best lighting. The lighting down here is not great. Trying to get away from everybody, so not keeping them awake. The glare on my bald head is going to be an issue. So we'll deal with that at some other time. So what are we doing today? So I was thinking about it, and this weekend and next weekend are the biggest fantasy football draft weekends there are. So I thought tonight, Friday night, 3 hours to get you prepared for your draft. Talking about, different types of draft, what the first couple rounds look like, how to construct your draft properly, going over some players, some stretches of players in certain positions in the draft, how to navigate that. And then the last hour, we're just going to do some mock drafts. So we might throw some mock drafts in periodically as well, just depending if other people join us. I am going to try to figure out a better way so this light does not hit me. That probably is worse. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out what these lights are. Anyway, so thanks for tuning in. If you guys, I don't know if you guys remembered with ESPN, they would do like a 24-hour draft coverage for fantasy. And I kind of wanted to do that. It just was one of those things. I had time tonight. I knew I was going to be able to do it. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So I was hoping some of these guys might come on early, and we can talk about some stuff. So we'll kind of give them some time before we really dive in. I've been doing some drafts. If you go to fantasydraftproxies.com, if for whatever reason you cannot make your draft, or you just have not been great in the draft and want someone to draft for you. Maybe it's your first year doing an auction draft. You're not really sure how that goes. I just did an auction draft. I just got done with that about 20 minutes ago. It was a 14-team one. So if you haven't navigated that, you can get Fantasy Draft Proxies, set up your draft time, whatever the site is, and then it gets assigned a drafter, and then we would draft that for you to help you out. With that, we also have some things where we could help co-manage if that's something you want to do as well. So anything that you need help with at the draft, if you can't make it, if something came up, you're out of town, you just can't draft, you don't want to auto draft, Fantasy Draft Proxies is perfect for that. So hopefully most of you have not drafted yet. Because if you have, there have been some injuries that have come out. We know the Genti injury, which looked like it was at first, turns out is not as bad as they thought. So that's going to kind of switch the first round up a little bit. If you already drafted Genti, took him in the first, second round, I think you'll be okay. I think he may miss maybe a couple weeks, but you never know how these things go. If you saw the Jamar Chase practice where went up for a pass, came down, looked like his knee tweaked, that could be some sort of tear, ACL tear or something like that. It looks like he's okay. He walked off a little bit. I've got a buddy that is an editor for The Athletic, and the Bengals are one of his teams. So he said he looked like he was walking off. It does not look serious, but you never know how that you tweak it, and then maybe just the rest of the year that thing is going to act up. So you never know on that. So we'll kind of look at some injuries as well. Backups, who to look at, when you should probably take RB2s, running backs by committee, those types of things. So let's look at if you're dissecting the draft, that's the first thing we're going to look at is dissecting the draft. So the way I look at the draft is this. The first 4 rounds are kind of key, but I usually look at the third and fourth rounds to determine how I want to draft in the other rounds. So depending where you are, 10 team, 12 team, 14 team, I still think the best way to go about the draft is to go running back heavy early. I think not going tight end on the elite tight ends in those first 4 rounds is probably a good bet. The only way I would say to maybe go for one of those top 4 guys, and we're talking Bowers, McBride, Loveland, Warren. The way I would do it, the way I'm targeting, Loveland, Bowers, Warren, McBride, just because you can get Loveland in the 3rd, maybe the 4th in a 10 team. I think then Bowers is next, then Warren because you can get him in the 4th, sometimes the 5th, and then McBride. I just don't like McBride's spot where he's going in the draft. You got to get him. He's sometimes the first one that goes off the board with that. So end of the 2nd or early 2nd, sometime in the 2nd round, it's just too much. I'd rather go Bowers there or just wait, take Loveland. I would do that more in the 12 or 4. If it's a 14 team, then I would target one of those 4 tight ends. Because in a 14 team, having one of those guys is going to be a huge advantage than it would be in a 10 team, because you're going to have guys that are going to have some really weak tight ends starting. I mean, I know I like Kincaid. You've got Fannin. You've got guys that are talented, but maybe are in bad offenses. But you're comparing that to like a guy like Loveland or Bowers. You could end up having 5 to 7 points on a regular basis more out of your one tight end spot, and that's huge in fantasy. So with quarterbacks, though, I am waiting on quarterbacks. The quarterbacks are so deep this year. It is unbelievable. We'll talk about that as well, especially when we dive into the player profiles. I'm really hoping someone comes on. I may look around to try to see if I can get to a different spot that's the lighting's going to be better on that here. I do have a light that if I would have gone up to the studio to get, would have been helpful as well. So let's dissect. So the first 4 rounds, if we're looking at the first 4 rounds, let me see if I can, we're not going to like actually do a mock draft, but we will pull up some ADP. I like Draft Sharks. It's a good site. A lot of their stuff is free. So we kind of look at that. I will see if I can share the screen here as well. Look, like we're going 3 hours today. If I can make it 3 hours, I am pretty tired. It's been a week with my son having surgery and those kinds of things. Can we add this? Excellent. Let me get me off there so that way we can look at that. So let me take this off too. So it's going to be a little bit better with that. So if we're looking at this, let me see if I can increase it a little bit. Maybe that'll help. Not really, but it's okay. So if you're looking through it, you're looking, it's Gibbs, Robinson are the top 2. And that's the way I think it should go. I think they have the best opportunity to be not only the obviously the top running back, but they also, I think, have the opportunity to be the best, the top scorer in football, in fantasy football this year. So having those 2 guys is a huge advantage on that. Once you get out of that, then you got these receivers that are going. You've got Chase, Nakua, JSN are usually the consensus next 3. Chase, I would take at 3. That injury does scare me a little bit. Nakua could miss some games, so that's a little concerning as well. JSN's pretty safe. I don't think that he is going to be able to duplicate that same type of numbers that he did last year. I think Seattle's going to take a step back as well. So I would rather have 1 and 2, and then I'd rather have probably the back end. Because honestly, I would rather probably take Cook, Taylor, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jefferson probably over those 3 guys. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown might be the safest bet in the first round. if we're looking at that. So the first round, you don't want to take too many chances on that. You're just gonna you don't want something to happen where that first round pick just bites you in the butt and it just destroys you. I know injuries can happen and that kind of thing. McCaffrey's there as well. So you're talking the first 8 picks are going to be Gibbs, Robinson, Chase, JSN, probably McCaffrey or Taylor will probably be up there. Amon-Ra St. Brown, probably Nakua. Those guys are like 8. And then you're looking, Henry's probably not going to go in the first round. You got Lamb, Jefferson, Barkley are kind of fallen in there as well. You also can get Hampton. So if you're looking at the first round, if you're in the front end of the first round, what we're doing is we are, taking one of those running backs. That's where I would look to go. And then when it comes back around, we can actually do we'll kind of run through a mock here while we're waiting for people to show up. Let's do a 12 team. Not really a mock per se, but just to kind of see how it goes. We're not going to really care about what spot that we are in. So let me share this screen now instead. Let me share stop screen on that one. Come back to me, and then we'll kind of look through this draft. And really, this is just going to be it's a mock simulator on Fantasy Pros. It's pretty good for that. Let's pull it up, put it on stage, full screen it for us. Boom. All right. So it's pretty nice. You can go to the draft board. We're sitting at 5. So looking at Gibbs, Robinson, Chase, Nakua. Let's just say with that, you decide you want to go running back because you're afraid the running back. Let's just, let's go Amon-Ra St. Brown, see what happens. We go Amon-Ra St. Brown. We figure he's the safest. I don't want to pull him up like that. Pull him out. Draft him. And then you look and see what happens. You draft St. Brown. And what happens coming around, it's going to probably be a mix of all of that, a lot of guys go off the board pretty quick, and it comes back to you. So you're losing McCaffrey, Taylor, Cook, Achane, Brown, Barkley, Genty, Henry, and Hampton. Receivers don't go too much. It's JSN, Lamb, Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Drake, London. So this is kind of why I like to go running back early, because you have that drop-off. So now you're looking – I would probably in this spot go Kenneth Walker to get a running back to pair with the receiver that I have. So looking at the draft board, we've got St. Brown, Walker. You've got Bowers, McBride are both gone. This is a 12 team. So looking at this, obviously, I'm not going to go quarterback. That's not what I'm doing. And the receiver, here's why I like to go running back, because you've got a group of these guys that I can probably get 2 of in this next round of Smith, Flowers, Garrett Wilson, McConkey, Waddle, Tet, T. Higgins, Mbuka, Burden, DJ Moore, Adams. You got all those guys. What I've been doing a lot, and because I think Loveland is just going to have a huge year this year with that Bears offense. He could have the most targets, those types of things. So I'm taking Loveland there because I know he's not going to come back, and I think he's my favorite tight end to get. Hey, comment on here as you're watching this. If you want to comment, ask any questions, I'm here to answer it. I'll be here 3 hours. And so just kind of see what this draft is going to do. That's all we're doing. It's going to help you try to prepare for the draft. So kind of see what different spots look, how to do different styles of drafts. We may do an auction and stuff. So, and then you look, it's a lot of receivers go. Smith, Moore, Flowers, Higgins, Waddle, Wilson, and Buka McConkey. So this is part of the issue when you go tight end with one of these spots. A lot of guys off the board. Javonte Williams is a guy, looking to take. So you can, and that's the thing with this one's nice, you can go back and undo your last pick if you're like, okay, we're doing this. We'll get back and see what happens. But this happens when you go Loveland, and now you're stuck where you've got one of the top tight ends, but it's kind of hurting you a little bit. So I think as much, DeAndre Swift, you've got these running backs here. You've got, I still think the receivers are a lot deeper than running back. So I think I would end up, not to be a homer with the Bears, but I think that's going to be a potent offense. And so you take Swift, and then quarterback's going off the board, another running back. I'm not a big tech guy. Hopefully a receiver. Yeah, so a receiver falls. And so we end up, let's see. That's the thing. If you go Loveland, Swift, I don't want to take Burden or Adunze. I do not want to load up on Bears like that. As much as it could be great, I don't know if they're going to score that much. So now you're looking at, do we go another running back? Because that's where the value is right there with either Montgomery, Tootin, Price. More than Tet, McLaurin, Jameson Williams, Evans, Adunze, Watson, Parker Washington. I think that's what I would do. And then for me, it's between Tootin and Price. I like the Jags offense a little bit better. I know Price has got the backfield now, but I think if Charbonnet ends up going, coming back here soon, they're gonna utilize him. So I will go two. So now I've got 3 running backs, 1 receiver, and a tight end. So most likely I'm going to end up going receiver here because I think it's still too early for quarterbacks. If you look here, there's still going to be, like, even on a 12 team, there's still going to be good quarterbacks available. We're looking at Mahomes, hopefully Herbert's still there. Yeah, you've got the only ones that gone off the board: Hurts, Daniels, Burrow, May, Jackson, Allen. So half the teams have a quarterback. You've got the other ones left. You got Williams, Herbert, Dak, Trevor Lawrence, Purdy, Nix, Dart, Mahomes. I can get one of those guys and probably feel pretty happy. So I think I would wait on one more round for a quarterback. And then I'm looking Harrison, Godwin, Thomas, the 2 guys in Pittsburgh, and Metcalf and Pittman, Josh Downs. I think at this point I would take Chris Godwin. Coming off the injury, he should be healthy. Losing Evans is huge. Take a chance on Godwin in the slot. So then what you want to do is no quarterbacks went off the board, like I said. And then if you look at, this is a key to look at the draft board. So by the next time I have to draft, 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 6 teams that are going to draft already have a quarterback. So unless I really want somebody, like I love Justin Herbert. Do I take I'm going to take a chance that Herbert, one of these good quarterbacks, still going to be there because only 2 teams will probably take one. So then I probably should go receiver, but again, I don't know. I don't mind Wan'Dale Robinson. Quentin Johnston is another guy I look at too. I think I'm going to go Quentin Johnston since I didn't get McConkey. I like the offense, and hopefully I'll get Herbert coming back around. So looking at it now, going a tight end and going receiver first. Team is not horrible. I've got, Walker, Swift, Tootin. I've got Godwin, Johnston, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I've got Loveland, so I got a top-end quarterback. All right, Caleb Williams, the only quarterback that went. So I'm at the 808 in a 12 team, just a standard scoring. So I'm going to take my quarterback now. I love Herbert so much this year. I just think with McDaniel there, they've got talent. They're going to score a ton. So if I can get this moving a little bit better. I'm going to take Herbert here. So, again, waiting on quarterbacks, I love. You got Dak, Herbert, Lawrence, Purdy, Nix, Dart, and Mahomes all still there in the 8th round. I'm taking Herbert. I just love his arm talent, his running ability. I think everything about it I love. So, like I said, this is what we're doing. Dak is still available. So now you're looking at filling out your bench, what needs. Again, I am not a big fan. I used to look at bye weeks a lot, but now I don't care. If I have one bye week where I have 5 guys off, then that's just 1 week. I'm going to be pretty bad. I got to try to makeshift a team, but then the rest of the year, I should be pretty well at full strength. So I don't mind having a bunch of guys off on one bye week. So now you're in the 9th round. So now this is what we're going to talk about in player profiles later on as well. Who's there in the running back, tight end, receiver spot? So running backs, you're looking at guys like RJ Harvey, Kenneth Gainwell, Dobbins, Corum, Washington guys in White and Krosky Merritt. You got Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones. So you got a bunch of guys, like a bunch of committees. You've got the Denver guys, you've got the Washington guys, you've got the Minnesota guys. That's kind of in that group there. And then you have guys like Marshawn Lloyd and Mike Washington, where I think in these, when you got bots, I don't think they're really moving those guys up much at this point. But those are guys I like pulling now because I think they'll get a lot of run early on. When you look at receivers this late, it's Worthy, Tyson, if he gets back from injury, Shaheed, you've got a couple rookies, you've got Debo, Adonai Mitchell, Keyshawn Butte. I don't like the receivers in this area at all. So the running back still kind of, you can pull guys. You can get White, Corum, Jordan Mason, guys like that. You take a chance on Jonah Coleman later on. If you look at tight ends, this is another reason. If you don't want to go tight end, which we did in this round here, you still have Sam Laporta, Kelsey, Kittle, Dalton Kincaid, Turd Ferguson, Mark Andrews, Juwan Johnson, Goddard, I like, Likely, Andrews. You've got a bunch of decent tight ends here. So on a 10-team, 12-team, I usually don't like going tight ends early because you lose out. Because if you look at the draft board here, going Loveland in the 3rd, we missed out. Let me pull my team up here. Loveland in the 3rd. We missed out on Devonta Smith, DJ Moore, T. Higgins, Kyron Williams, Breece Hall, Javonte Williams, Waddle, Wilson, Mbuka, McConkey. I love all those receivers. Like Moore, McConkey, Mbuka, Wilson, Waddle. I love those guys. So I would have rather had one of those guys and pair him with a Kincaid or a Ferguson or a Likely. As much as I love Loveland, I just don't like the way the teams look when you go tight end early with that. So again, we'll kind of look at this kind of stuff as we go through it. But that's what you want to look at. And you want to look. I always look at the 3rd and 4th rounds first. Who's going to be there? Kind of where I'm at, and then build from there. So again, if we just go here, if we weren't in that 5 spot, then what we would do is just kind of look at what's the 3rd, 4th rounds. Like if you go, let's say you have the 1 and you go Gibbs. He went receiver, which I don't mind in a 2 running back set. If you have Gibbs, then you just got to find one other running back to kind of come up and do their job. Bucky Irving's there. Um, with Collins Pickens, I don't mind that at all. Coming back around, I don't really like Tet McMillan. I think I would have rather gone Tootin, Burden, maybe like, it's something like that. I think it would have been better off at. But looking at this, I'm telling you, the sixth spot, no, the seventh spot might be where it's at. Getting McCaffrey, I mean, that's a risk, but if he's healthy, and even if he's not, the season is like, it's a season long game, but it's really broken up. I look at it at like 4 weeks at a time. If McCaffrey gets hurt week 6, he's probably going to be one of the top 3 running backs those first 5 weeks for you. So he's going to help you win early on, and then you just got to find out a place to replace him. So I don't mind getting McCaffrey mid to late first round. You pair him with Hampton, and then you get DJ Moore and Emeka Ibuka, which I love. Like that group right there is good. And then you look at like the guy that went 10. He went Cook, Genty, Williams. I sometimes I think you can go 2 running back heavy, because then let's look and see what happens with him after that. He gets Jamison Williams, Christian Watson, Michael Wilson. So, and he gets Kyle Pitts. So you may like that. That could turn out like if Williams, if he gets to be 808 guy, if Watson stays healthy, he could be huge on that Packers team. Michael Wilson looked great last year. I just not buying that Marvin Harrison Jr. is not good. And then Kyle Pitts, we all know about Kyle Pitts. So that's what when you're doing these mock drafts, go from different spots and then look at what other teams, what that looks like. Again, we did a tight end here. What we can do is, we can restart a draft and look at that later on as well. So that's the key with these mock drafts when you're doing these mock drafts is practice doing things that you may not do. Practice, okay, let's see what a tight end looks like on that. So that's why I like looking at the 3rd and 4th round, what's there. And I like the receivers there. If I'm in the middle of the back end, I love the receivers. I would go running back, receiver. Most likely, I'm not going to take a tight end early, as much as I love Loveland. And then what we can do is we can kind of look at positional ADP values from this mock draft. Like again, we're going to start one over again, so we can just do that. Let's look at the draft board. If it went the same way, again, I don't want to pick from the 5 though. I want to do let's do it from the beginning. Can I just go back and start a whole new draft? Is what I want to do, because I don't really want to draft from the 5 again. Okay, let's draft from the 5. We went St. Brown last time. Let's go running back and see what happens if we do that, and we're not going to go tight end. So if I'm at 5 running back wise, I don't know if I take McCaffrey. I do like James Cook a lot, and Jonathan Taylor's kind of a stud. I'm going to go Cook here. I just like that offense, and he has proven the last couple of years that he can carry the load. So we go running back here. If I go running back, let's see what happens with the draft board here. And then I got to go find a place to plug this in. So the lighting may get worse. So a lot of receivers go to that back end. I think the running backs are going to start going off the board pretty heavy. Yeah. So like Hampton, A.J. Brown are guys that I would like to fall at 5. Yeah, 5. 3, 4, and 5 are spots I do not like. Even 6. I'd rather be 7. I'd rather be the first 2 or 7 or later. So, again, if I was going to go running back here, and this is why sometimes if you go in with a strategy, sometimes you want to back away off that strategy, which I would do. I would take Cook, and then knowing from the last one that we did, I think what I would like to do is I want to go Garrett Wilson here. I know it sounds crazy taking a jet, but I think he's going to get peppered with a ton of targets. And then I have a chance. I can go Javonte Williams, or I can go another receiver. Um, I think I'm going to go Javonte Williams and hope one of these other receivers fall, like McConkey or somebody like that. So we'll see what happens here. I'm going to try to move because I'm going to have to plug this computer in or it's going to eventually die. And so I know the lighting over here is not as great, but I'd rather have the computer here the entire stream than not. So we look at this draft board here now. So yeah, like Moore's a guy I love too, but he keeps moving up in these drafts, especially on 12 teams. So McConkey, Moore, Waddle, all gone. I love all those guys. Williams would have been gone as well. So I don't know if I would have taken one of the receivers. Williams would have been gone, and then the running backs. Again, it looks not bad because I think Swift is there, Montgomery's there, Tootin's there, Price is there. So Abuka's still left. So I don't mind that. I think I would have rather taken a guy like DJ Moore and then gotten a guy like Tootin on that end. If you're at the 5. Again, I like this team, the makeup of this team better than the last one without going with a tight end. And I have to imagine Loveland went, right? Like Loveland had to have gone. He's not still here, I don't think. I mean, if Loveland's still here at the 505, then that's a smash on that. Loveland at the I would take Loveland all day, every day at the 505. That unbelievable that he's still there. He is not usually lasting that long. Then I don't mind taking a tight end. If you've got 2 running backs, 2 receivers, and you've got Abuka, Garrett Wilson, both former Buckeyes, and you've got James Cook, Javonte Williams. I like that makeup. Those guys, it's studs. And then you're basically, you've got a good core right now of your team. Again, we learned last night, I'm still not going quarterback even 12 team. We're going to do a 2 quarterback mock later on. And we're going to look at what happens if you don't take a quarterback early. If you wait and don't take a quarterback in those first 2 or 3 rounds, what can happen? So now you're looking David Montgomery, Jadarian Price. I like them both, but for different reasons. I think Montgomery could end up having 15 touchdowns just because that Texans defense is so good, and he'll get so many chances inside the 5. But his miss rate has gone down the last 3 years. I remember him as the Bear. He's a great guy to pick up 3.5 yards all the time. He looked great in Detroit with that offensive line. I like David Montgomery, but if I was going to take a running back, I think I'd go Jadarian Price for the upside more. But I think what I would do is I just would load back up and take Godwin here. Since I'm only starting 2, I think Godwin's going to be pretty decent on this. So we will see what's going on. All right, I think my brother's going to be joining us here shortly, so he sent it in. So again, this is what this looks like. We're trying to figure out how we are going to best construct a draft. And this is how you do it through mock drafts, different positions, going from different spots, everything like that. So we'll kind of go back and look at that here in a second. What I'm going to do, because there are going to be times I'm going to need to if no one's here with me, take a break. I got to get a chair. I'm kind of kneeling right now. I kind of like this area better, plus it's plugged in. So we will take a quick break if I can figure this out. I think we have a quick break here. We'll take breaks periodically, let you guys go to the bathroom. We'll take a quick break here, and then we will come back and really look at the ADP value that you can have in these rounds. So stick around. This is Fantasy Football Island, the 3-hour draft show spectacular. I am Chad Rink. We'll be back here in a minute with got an ad here for fans.
Hi, golfers. IndyCar Tim here. I want to talk to you a little bit about Golf Central Magazine. It's not just a golf magazine. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Head over to golfcentralmag.com and check out the latest issue. Some of the regular features in Golf Central Magazine: the Golf Bachelorette of the Month, the Golf Bachelor of the Month, the Golf Cart Girl of the Month, Golf History, Grip It, and Sip It. So head over to golfcentralmag.com. It's free. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Golf Central Magazine at golfcentralmag.com. We'll see you there. Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to fanstreamsports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the J.P. Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our FanStream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. fanstreamsports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream. fanstreamsports.com.
Hey folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
Today's show is brought to you by Tom's Town.
All right, so we are back again. The lighting here is not the best. I needed to plug in on here. So let's look at then. We'll bring this back up at not ADP, but we'll look at what we're talking about here with ADP value. We can auto draft the rest of this, but I don't want to. I'm just going to make picks as we're here just to kind of get us through here. Let's go Jonathan Brooks. Because then we'll look at who is available. I'm going Jordan Mason. I guess I got to just hit the draft and just get through this draft and see where the value is. I know Wan'Dale Robinson is probably down here some, or maybe he's already gone. Looks like he's already gone. See, these receivers, man, I don't like these receivers that come up late. I'm going to go Shaheed, do that. Hopefully Mike Washington. See, the running backs, you still got quite a few guys there. I'm going to take Mike Washington. This is one we'll look at. Waiting on quarterback here. So now we are in round 10, 11? Round 10. We still do not have our quarterback, but Purdy, Nix, Dart, Mahomes, all still there. Stafford and Goff. You've still got Kyler Murray, Tyler Shuff. And this is the kind of point where I'm looking at, I think the quarterback value is better than, especially receiver. I don't like any of these receivers that are sitting here. But there are still some, like Rachaad White's not one to take a chance on. You've got Jonah Coleman's getting some play as the third running back on that Denver squad. At some point, they may go to him. Marshawn Lloyd as well. Again, but I think right now it's the quarterback. I might as well go get a quarterback. So you've got this group of Purdy, Nix, Dart, Mahomes. If I'm being honest, I would probably go after Nix or Dart for some rushing upside. And honestly, I'd probably go Nix. I think he's been a top 10 quarterback the 2 years he's been in the league. And then you just added Jalen Waddle. I'll take Nix. Again, I'm not going a backup tight end, most likely ever. So, again, these, like I said, these receivers here, you got like Denzel Boston, Adonai Mitchell, Trey Tucker, Judy, Jalen McMillan. Keyshawn Boutte is interesting going to Houston now. Trey Harris, Juwan Jennings, Wicks in Philly. It's not a great group, really. And so I think I'd rather just load up and take chances on some of these running backs. Jonah Coleman, why not? You got Marshawn Lloyd. Why not get these guys, especially Lloyd, and we also have Mike Washington. So these guys that are going to get early run, I don't mind doing that. Again, these receivers, they are not great. So maybe we look at loading up on receivers and then get these middle running backs and see how that works. That could be the way to go as well. So now I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't even like any of these guys. Najee Harris is interesting. And then you still got Purdy and Dart and Mahomes are still there. So you could get a backup quarterback there. Tight ends are pretty much gone, so I'm not worried about that. So I don't mind doing that. Why not? Just so you can say I got Mahomes in the 15th round or whatever we got, 14th round. I don't mind that. 13th round. Rounding out the next two. Someone just drafted Ezekiel Elliott at the 1405. So that's the thing with these bots and stuff like that. So let's look at, if we're looking at, because what we're doing now, okay, where the value is. So those first two rounds, you're looking at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So half of the first two rounds are running backs, half are receivers. So it's pretty split. Then if you go in rounds 3 and 4, and this is what I was talking about when you are trying to figure out how to construct your team, I kind of work from rounds 3 and 4 first and then go back. Because if you go rounds 3 and 4, you get 2 tight ends there. A lot of times it's 3. Loveland fell to the 505. Sometimes he goes. So you may have 3 tight ends there. Quarterbacks start going off the board. There were 4 that went off here. So 6 of the 24. So a quarter of the picks are tight ends and quarterbacks. And then you've got 2, 5, 6 running backs. And then you've got half are receivers. So the third and fourth rounds, 12. So you got 12 receivers go in rounds 1 and 2, and 12 receivers go in rounds 3 and 4. Where in rounds 3 and 4, you only have 6 running backs that are coming off the board. So in a 12 team, it may be better to do that. Because then if you look in rounds 5 and 6, 5, 6, 7, and 8. If you look at the running backs that are generally coming off there, you got Bucky Irvin, DeAndre Swift, Quinshon Judkins, Scattaboo, Ramondre Stevenson, Bashal Tutin, Jalen Warren, David Montgomery, Jadarian Price, and Jonathan Brooks, and Travion Henderson are in the 7th round. You've got Dowdle, Pollard, and Hubbard in the 8th. So I don't mind if you're telling me if in the first 4 rounds I get 3 receivers. Let's say I got 3 receivers and Colston Loveland in the first 4 rounds, and then I end up pairing Swift with Tutin, Swift with Price as my running backs. I'm not hating that. I'm not saying I would do that. That's something we can look into, but that's why I do this. And then, like I said, quarterbacks, I would wait forever on quarterbacks. It just depends. It depends on your league, how they draft. Like this one, Herbert went at the last pick in the 8th round. Hurts, Burrow, and Dak all went in the 7th. And this is a 12 team. 10 team, I'm waiting on quarterback forever. And then you get to a point in round 9. This is where I think still running backs still have the edge over receivers. Because if you're going rounds 9, 10, and 11, the running backs are Mike Washington, R.J. Harvey, Dobbins, Kenny Gainwell, Monangai, Krosky Merritt, Jordan Mason, Blake Corum, Keaton Mitchell, Woody Marks, Aaron Jones, Rashad White, Jonah Coleman, Tajay Spears, Chris Rodriguez. And even that next round in the 12th round, you got Kamara, Tyrone Tracy, Dylan Sampson, Pacheco, Marshawn Lloyd, Charbonnet, Algier. I mean, you've got quality RB2s that if there's an injury that happens, they slide in and they have the starting job. Like Jordan Mason in the 10th round is a pretty good steal. Kenneth Gainwell, especially in a PPR league, is huge. If Bill Krosky Merritt is the guy, he's there. If not, Rashad White could be. You've got quality running backs. And then like the receivers that are going in rounds 9, 10, and 11, you've got Jacoby Myers. He's going to be the third option, most likely in Jacksonville. You've got Stribling in San Francisco. He's a rookie. He's getting a lot of hype, but we don't know how that's going to go. Jalen Coker always gets love every year, but he never performs. And I don't like that. That Panthers offense, I don't think it's going to be good. Romeo Dobbs in New England, but Kyle Williams is looking great. And you got A.J. Brown, who's going to garner a ton of targets. Xavier Worthy. Then you've got a couple rookies in Tyson Concepcion. Khalil Shakir, who just has not done anything. Debo. Denzel Boston, Keyshawn Booty. So, like, you're looking in rounds 9, 10, 11, and 12. The receivers are just, they're not good. They really aren't. You're taking either chances on rookies, and some of these rookies are on bad teams, or they're definitely wide receiver 2s. A lot of them are wide receiver 3s. So, I think that's the play because if you can get guys like Mike Washington, take chances on the Denver guys. Blake Corum could take over for Williams. Jordan Mason's probably going to start for the Vikings at some point. You've got both guys in Washington. So Kenny Gainwell too. So I think that's what you do. I think you try to load up on wide receivers in rounds 2 through probably, dare I say, rounds 2 through 6, 7, doing that. So that's probably the best way to manage and construct your team. Again, we will look at later on this evening when we do mock drafts, we will look at a 2-quarterback league and what it looks like if you go 2 quarterbacks in the first 3 or 4 rounds, or if you wait. I know a lot of people say in a 2-quarterback league, or super flex, you want to load up on quarterbacks early, which makes sense. However, I think the quarterback class is so deep this year. I think you can wait and you could put together a team that could be pretty potent. I help co-manage a team that's a 2-quarterback league. And the one, like normally we usually take quarterbacks early, and we've done pretty well in this one. We've been in the championship game. We lost in the semis, and then last year we went 12-2, had a bye week. Our 2 quarterbacks combined for 90 points, and then lost in the semis because our quarterbacks did not score 90 points that week. And I waited on quarterback that one. I loaded up. I ended up getting Gibbs. Jefferson did not pan out for us, but I loaded up on guys early on in those positions that were great. And then I took a chance. I started off, we had Trevor Lawrence and Bryce Young were our only 2 quarterbacks. And I was going to keep getting guys. I was going to get Dart late. He went. So all these other quarterbacks went. So we just had 2 quarterbacks going in. And it didn't bother me that much because I knew Bryce Young's had like the last bye week. And then Lawrence was around, I think, week 7 or 8. So I knew we just had to get to week 7 or 8. We could make a trade. We could do something. Something was going to happen. We ended up trading for Bo Nix, which helped out. And then again, Bo Nix and Trevor Lawrence combined for over 90 points on our bye week. So you can do it if you wait on quarterbacks, and we'll look at that on both ends of it. It's a little bit harder in like a 12 team, which that one is. In a 10 team, you can do it. So quarterbacks, I think you can wait on quarterbacks in a 1 team, especially 12, even in a 14 team one. I just did a draft on it was a 14 team, it was an auction draft, and you can auction drafts you can kind of get if you want, but even in a 14 team, you can still wait a little bit on quarterback. Maybe your backup quarterback may not be the best, but I think there's 20 to 22 decent quarterbacks that I'm okay. I'm okay with Malik Willis. I think his rushing upside is huge. That's a cheat code in fantasy, is if you have a rushing quarterback. Because you look at what Justin Fields did. Justin Fields is not a good quarterback, and he was still a top 10 fantasy quarterback multiple times in his NFL career. I think Malik Willis can do that, even though that team, their receivers aren't great. Achane is. I just think you got rushing upside. That's huge. That's good. If you get 70 to 75 rushing yards a week, that's 7 to 7.5 fantasy points extra that you're getting that the Joe Burrows aren't getting. And then if you find the end zone, it's huge. So I think that's what you do when you're constructing. Again, do mock drafts. Look it up. Use ADP as kind of a guide where guys fall. But again, each league is different. If you've been in the league for a while, you know how your league mates are going to draft. Understand that. Again, and then knowing where you draft. If you're on either of the turns, like 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, or 10, 11, 12, you're going to have to reach for guys if you want them, because that's a long wait. So again, if you go like Gibbs and then you take another running back, I would definitely go receiver in that 3rd round, because I think a ton are going to go out the board. We saw that with a couple mocks that we did. So know that. Again, I don't mind at the turn because you get 2 quick picks, but then you just have to reach on guys that you really, really want. So that's kind of dissecting the draft. That I think that's the key. Again, work your thing. Like guys like Marshawn Lloyd, Mike Washington, guys that are going to get opportunities early because of injury. Those guys are going to be valuable early on, and then you can maybe flip them. So again, it is a season long. Most fantasy is season long, but you still it's a weekly game. So matchups early on. If you get, teams are going to play like bad defenses in the division, like teams like the Bills and the Patriots, they got to play the Jets and Dolphins twice. So their offenses could score a ton of those games, that kind of stuff. So I look at schedules a little bit. I don't really play into strength of schedule much because we don't know what these defenses are going to do this year. All we're doing is based on last year, what moves they made, and kind of figure out this defense should not be good. But again, we don't know for sure. So I don't look at strength of schedules too much. Again, bye weeks, I don't even look at bye weeks really at all, unless I'm doing a backup quarterback. But then even then, I'll figure it out again. Because I would rather, if I had all my studs, because there's always those weeks where you get it's like bye Mageddon, where all these guys are off on a week. I'd rather have that. Give me, if you said my quarterback, my top running back, top receiver, and tight end all were on bye week, on the same week, give me that all day long, because then let's say that was week 7. Then week 7, I just try to have to piece together a team, and maybe I'm playing a team that's marred with injuries, or just they have an off week and I can still win. Even if I don't win, then I'm having those 4 guys the rest of the year, where if they all have different bye weeks, then okay, this week I've got to try to fill in my quarterback spot. This week I got to fill in my RB1 spot. The next week, so then you got 4 weeks where you're just at a disadvantage in that one position. So I'd rather just have them all off on the same week. Now I'm not going to go look for that either. Bye weeks don't really play a factor at all in my thinking anymore. So that's really how we're looking at the draft. Again, we'll do mock drafts probably periodically, but then at the end of it, we'll probably just mock a lot. So hopefully my brother comes on, because talking, you're probably tired of hearing me talk on that. So again, if you go to Fantasy Draft Proxy, they can help you with your draft. If you can't make the draft, that's the big one they usually do. Hey, I can't make my draft. They said it, they moved it, and now I can't make it, and I don't want to auto draft. Sign up, give us all the information about the draft. We can log in, and then we will draft for you in your league. So that way you have somebody that knows what they're doing, draft rather than auto draft. Also, if you just know, hey, I've been in this league 5 years and I've just never done well, the draft hasn't gone my way, I want a little help, you can do that as well. We do the same thing, do that. And then we can help you manage your team. There's different levels. If you just want, if you want full, hey, I want you in making moves, helping me co-manage, we can do that. If you're just like, hey, I would like to be able to text you to get advice, we have stuff on that as well. There's different price points for all of that. So, again, I love this time of year. Drafts are happening. I actually have, I think I may have a sixth one now, tomorrow. 3 are mine, 3 are other people. So, this is the time of year where it's all hitting, which is the best time to do it after all the preseasons are done. Then you don't have to worry about injuries, that kind of thing. Although this last week, nobody's really playing any of their guys. So, all right. Now let's move on to like player profiles. I'm not going to really break down stats here too much. But I do want to look at some guys that I really, really like this year with their position. So let's look at quarterback first. So I said quarterback is deep this year, and I think you can wait. Obviously, Josh Allen is the top guy, but you're most likely going to have to get him in the 3rd round, sometimes in the 4th. And I still would rather, we just did those, I'd rather get some of these other guys that we're looking at. So like if you pull this, if I'm not going to go back to that, but if you pull it up, Josh Allen is going mid-3rd. And you're missing out on guys like Breece Hall. You're missing out on these receivers is what you're doing. You're missing out on Devonta Smith, Zay Flowers, T. Higgins, Tet, Waddle, Devonta Adams, DJ Moore, Ladd McConkey, Emeka Ibuka. I mean, those are the guys you're missing out on getting Josh Allen. It's the same thing with tight ends, but at least with like guy like Bowers, McBride, or Loveland, and even Warren, like those guys can put up wide receiver 1 numbers. So I don't mind it as much with quarterback. I mean, but if Josh Allen, if he rushes in 12 touchdowns, throws for 4,200 yards and 35 touchdowns, I mean, that's going to be hard to match with your quarterback. So, but again, is he going to do that? That's just the question. So that's why I'm waiting. So let's look at one of the things I like to look at is if you look at like previous years. So let's look at just the quarterback market because how they finished point wise last year. This is just total fantasy points. Josh Allen, Drake May, Matt Stafford, Trevor Lawrence, Caleb Williams were the top 5. So those guys were all like May, Stafford, Lawrence, and Williams were probably not. None of those guys were probably drafted in the top 10 quarterbacks. And then you got Prescott, Nix, Hurts, Goff, and then Justin Herbert rounded it out. So you never know with that. And if you're looking at it, you want to look at rushing yards. That's a huge, huge factor. If you look at that, like Allen last year, 579 rushing yards. He had 14 rushing touchdowns last year, which is ridiculous. But if you look at it, fantasy points per game is what I want to look at. Because, yeah, fantasy points total are great, but how many is he getting per game? He's still scoring 14 rushing touchdowns. He still was only scored 0.7 more points than Drake May did, and only 0.8 points more than Stafford. Mahomes was the only other one that averaged over 20 fantasy points per game. So even with 14 rushing touchdowns, he only threw for 3,600 yards, 14 rushing touchdowns, he still wasn't that much better than even the fifth quarterback. Even with Trevor Lawrence averaged 19.9, so he was 1.5 points more a game, and you could have got Trevor Lawrence last year probably 6 rounds later. So that's why with quarterbacks, again, Allen had a huge year and he still did not outscore it that much. But then you look at with like running backs and that kind of stuff, you're starting 2, then fantasy points per game. The difference between McCaffrey, who was still the top fantasy point guy last year at 24.5, he was 2.7 points better than Bijan, and about the same as Gibbs. And then Taylor and Achane are the only ones that end up with 20. So then if you're looking at like running back 10, like he was almost 10 points better per game than Josh Jacobs was. So that's why like these running backs, receivers are just are so much better because of how much different it is from 1 to 10 than it is with quarterbacks. Again, who I'm really targeting this year is Justin Herbert. I think the addition of McDaniel there, he's got weapons galore with McConkey, Johnston. He's got good tight ends there. Trey Harris is a serviceable wide receiver 3. Hampton's going to garner some attention as well. He can catch out of the backfield. You've got Keaton Mitchell, who he's just electric. I don't think he's going to cut into Hampton that much, but I like Herbert, and Herbert can run. And I think McDaniels is going to unleash him just because McDaniel has not had a quarterback that has had this kind of arm strength. So it's going to be fun. I think they're going to be a top 3 scoring offense. So give me Herbert. I like him a lot. If you look at Bo Nix, it surprised me. Like I said, we look at it, and in a points per game, Bo Nix was 10th points per game last year. If you just do total points, he was 7th among quarterbacks. And then if you go back to the 2024 regular season, would have been his rookie year, he was 7th again in fantasy points, total points, and he was 10th. So he's been a top 10 quarterback in both fantasy points total and fantasy points per game his first 2 years. And now you're telling me he added Jalen Waddle to the mix. I love that for him as well. Again, he can rush 430 yards, 4 touchdowns. His rookie season last year, he did about the same, 356, 5 rushing touchdowns. So I like Nix as well. Jackson Dart with his rushing is going to be always a huge thing. I don't know if he's going to let him throw more with Neighbors in tow and Likely, that kind of stuff. Dak's always going to be a guy to look at if he's healthy because that offense is elite and they're going to score. Caleb Williams could take a step up. He was 58 yards away from being the first Bears quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards in a season. The number I love, 27 touchdown passes, 7 picks. He only had 7 picks that he threw last year. He can do a little bit on the ground. They're not gonna design a lot of runs for him, but scored 3 touchdowns, almost had 400 yards on the ground rushing. If you're looking at rushing touchdowns by quarterbacks, I said Allen had 14, Dart and Lawrence had 9, Hurts had 8, Mahomes and Daniel Jones each had 5 with Bo Nix. So again, Trevor Lawrence, a guy I like too, 4,000 yards, 29 and 12. 359 rushing yards, 9 touchdowns. So I think Liam Coleman, they have their entire coaching staff stayed intact. I like him. Dart, I don't mind Dart. There's other guys I would prefer. I think Drake May, again, had a huge year. And then you add A.J. Brown to the mix. I think May is going to be a top 3 quarterback, and then he can run as well. Tyler Schaaf coming in, pretty solid that last end of the year when he was starting. So he's got the rushing upside. as well. Scored 3 touchdowns in this kind of limited work. Again, Malik Willis too. Malik Willis played 4 games, ran for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns in the 4 games that he played. So give me rushing quarterbacks all day long. And I think Kyler Murray can be serviceable as well. So the quarterback room is so deep this year. You can wait. And then I would just be like, if there's one guy like I like Herbert, so I'm going to gravitate to him a little bit more as well. If you're watching, I appreciate you guys watching and staying up late on this Friday night with me. Like the program. If you have any comments, if you have any questions, ask any of your draft day questions. We'll throw it up on the screen and we will answer it. So we will do that. Let's go to running backs. So I think there are pockets of running backs this year that you're going to make a decision on which guy that you want. Obviously, Gibbs and Robinson, the top 2 elite, like that. There's no question there. I would take either of those guys, top 2, all day long, and I wouldn't even think about taking a receiver there. But then if you look at, because then another running back doesn't usually go off till about pick 5, 6, or 7. And then you've got a stretch from mid-first to mid-second where you've got these guys. You've got McCaffrey, Cook, Hampton, Chase Brown, Saquon, Derrick Henry, Devon Achane, and then I threw Kenneth Walker in there. So you've got eight running backs that are in that stretch of the 105 to the 207. So 8 running backs in that 12 pick stretch. Walker's probably more on the back end of the second, early third, but all the rest of those guys are. So that's what you're looking at. This is where if I'm in the back end of the first, so I'm talking pick 7 through 12 or 7 and 10, I am almost always going to go running back. Because if you tell me I can have 2 of these guys, I can have 2 of McCaffrey, Cook, Hampton, Brown, Barkley, Henry, Achane. I'm gonna take a chance on that because we looked at it. There are 12 receivers that are going in the next round. So you can pair if you end up going Hampton, Achane, Hampton, Barkley, Hampton, Chase Brown. If you do that, and then you end up getting like Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore, that's a pretty good build out of your first 4 picks. You've got 2 stud running backs, and you've got 2 wide receiver ones. I know Wilson's not on a great offense, but he's going to garner targets, and that's really what it's about is the opportunities. I love DJ Moore this year. You throwing him on the Bills offense, it's going to be elite on that. Even if you do like McConkey, DJ Moore, I would love if A.J. Brown would slip to the third, but he is not doing that. So I think that's where if you're in the back end of the first, I think I would go running back. I do know you've got the elite receivers though too. So Chase, Nakua, Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Sun God, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson. Those are the 5 elite receivers that I don't mind grabbing in the first. I think if I was ranking them, Chase would be one, but that I'm telling you, I think there's more to that knee right now, and it could cause him problems during the season. I still think I'd have to put him 1. I think I put Amon-Ra St. Brown 2 because I think he's the safest. I think he's got the highest floor of all these guys, and he also has the opportunity in the ceiling to be the wide receiver 1. I would put him second. I love Jefferson this year. He's a top 4, top 5 fantasy wide receiver every year that he does not have a quarterback named J.J. McCarthy. So I think Murray's not great, but I think he's going to be serviceable enough. They'll get the ball to Jefferson. And then I put CeeDee Lamb 4, Nakua 5. Nakua missing time. If Nakua didn't have these off-field injuries, he could, or I would argue he could be the one because he's the kind of guy that is going to get 8 to 10 targets every game if Stafford is healthy. So But that pocket in the first 2 rounds of running backs. And then you've got another pocket of guys, and it's going to be the next group, which is going to be, we talked about, like, it's going to be rounds 5, 6, 7, and 8 with these guys. Sometimes even 9. You've got both New England backs, who I think both have upside, and they both are quality backs that can help you out. I love Travion Henderson. I just don't know if he's going to get the run with Stevenson there. But if Henderson, if he gets anything close to 15 touches a game, it could be crazy. So you got the New England ones. You've got Bucky Irvin, Jadarian Price, DeAndre Swift, David Montgomery, Bashal Tutin, ETN or Achan is what they call, Travis Achan. He's kind of probably more into the 4th, 5th, but he's in that group. You've got the Minnesota guys, the Pittsburgh guys, Judkins, and Jonathan Brooks. You've got that group there where I think there's an upper echelon. I think the New England guys, Bucky Irvin, Price, Swift, Monty Tootin, and even ETN are there. And then you've got the backfields of Minnesota, Pittsburgh, where one of those guys could come out. Either I like Dowdle over Warren, and I like Mason over Jones. Judkins, he's not getting any love, but he looked good last year. I know the Browns suck, but Judkins still could end up 15, 18 carries a game, and that kind of thing. So, and then Jonathan Brooks, we don't know. That's the big mystery. I think people who have drafted him maybe earlier are hoping that at some point they don't want to miss out on if Jonathan Brooks is going to be good. And I don't mind him either. The Panthers' offensive line is not the worst. I think Canales is a good coach, so I don't mind taking a chance on Brooks at his price. So that's the next group of running backs as well. So if you don't go running back, I don't mind if you get a stud, if you get one of those first 2, or even if you get like Hampton, Cook, CMC, Barkley, something like that, Achan, get one of those guys, and then just go wide receiver for the next 3 rounds. You can then pair a Swift or Tootin with Jordan Mason, one of the New England guys, Jonathan Brooks. I don't mind that, especially if you're only having to start 2 running backs. And then the last group of running backs I want to look at are like the backups, but I'm looking at quality backups. I wouldn't call them handcuffs because I think they're going to end up having some role. Like Mike Washington's big for me this year because he's looked good. You've got Clint Kubiak running that offense. So the running back, whoever's the running back, is going to have fantasy value. I don't know how that Genti injury, it's weird. They haven't come out and said it's a high ankle sprain, but it could be a high ankle sprain, which is going to be a longer time off. If Mike Washington plays the first 3 games, that could be huge for you to have him, and he could win you some games early on, and then you just kind of hold on to him in case Genti doesn't come back. 'Cause that's the other thing. If the Raiders are bad, which we all think they are, and Genti had that injury, they nurse him back. If they start off 1-7, 2-6, maybe they shut Genti down for the year at the end, and then Mike Washington gets that run for the playoffs, for the fantasy playoffs. So I like him. And that same boat is Marshawn Lloyd. Marshawn Lloyd, I think, has got talent. He is kind of fragile. He gets hurt quite a bit. But he's going to have value with Josh Jacobs going to be out for however long he's going to be out. And his could be anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks, I think. And then you've got Blake Corum, who looked great last year down the stretch. People are saying he's going to cut into Kyron Williams' work. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. He is going to get some work because that's what they did last year. So I don't mind him in case he does get that role, whether it's injury or he just outperforms Williams. Kenneth Gainwell, PPR, he's the new Rachaad White in Tampa. And I think he's a better pass catcher than Rachaad White, so they could use him a ton. Especially Irvin, I think, is already nicked up a little bit. He got hurt last year. Gainwell could come in and be the guy. So, because he's so much better than Sean Tucker. And then I like Jonah Coleman. I like taking a chance with Jonah Coleman. I don't think RJ Harvey's that good. And J.K. Dobbins, I think, is going to be the starter there. And if he can stay healthy, he could be a steal as well. But that's the big question. He's never been healthy. So I think Jonah Coleman can end up maybe getting some run with injury and just poor play. So those are guys I like later on to have that have value that you could that they can be weekly flex plays for you. And then if you go receivers, we talked about the Elite Five. You've got that next group, man, in rounds 3 and 4, which I love so much. I'll pull this back up here and look at it. Where rounds 3 and 4, you've got Rashee Rice, you've got Pickens, Devonta Smith, Zay Flowers, T. Higgins, Tet, Jalen Waddle, Devonta Adams, DJ Moore, Ladd McConkey, Emeka Ibuka, Terry McLaurin. And then if you get in the 5th round, you've got Luther Burden, Jamison Williams, Roma Dunze, Mike Evans, Carnell Tate, Christian Watson. That group, rounds 3 through 5, I love that wide receiver group. The problem is you're probably not going to be able to get 3 of them unless you're at the turn. Like the one guy at the turn ended up going Flowers, Higgins, Watson. I would have probably at that point would have probably gone some sort of like McConkey Moore. I like Waddle more, DJ Moore, McConkey, and Ibuka better than Flowers. I think I even like him better than Devonta Smith. So you can grab those guys. I like that stretch. So if you went running back, like that 12 spot, like he had the Flowers, Higgins, Watson, and then he got Marvin Harrison. So he went 4 straight running backs rounds 3 through 6 because he got Achane and Brown. So I like that back end a lot as well. Again, then we look at this guy that was in spot 9. He went Sun God, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle, which that receiving core is unbelievable. And then there's running back. Like, listen, you got Ramondre Stevenson, Bayshell Tootin. You got Krosky Merritt, Spears. I don't like going. Here's the other thing. If you go Amon-Ra St. Brown, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle, and you only have to start 2, and then you can flex 2, like I'm not really going to go. I'm going to just load up on running backs the rest of the way. He went Joe Burrow, and then he went down and he went Concepcion, where I would have taken Tootin. I would have probably come back. He had Ramondre Stevenson, so TreVeyon Henderson's probably not the play. I would have maybe taken a chance on Dowdle there, maybe Mike Wash. I mean, like Concepcion's not going to do anything this year. The Browns are bad on that, so that's where it's at. And then if you're looking at tight ends, again, tight ends. Hold on here. All right. Speaking of tight ends, my brother Nate has joined us. Nate is part of the March Chadness that we do every Sunday here on FanstreamSports.com. Nate, how are you tonight?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm an hour and 19 minutes in. I did have to put part of an ad on because I needed to plug in. The lighting here in the basement's bad at Xander's, where Xander stays. So, but again, no one cares how I look. It's all about the show.
You look fantastic.
It's just the lighting's bad. The light came. I thought it was going to get sent to my house because I gave my address, but it's at the studio, and I've not been to the studio since Xander had his surgery. So we did the Dissecting the Draft. We're kind of just going over the player pockets in the draft where you can wait.
I was watching a bunch of it.
Oh, were you? Okay. Yes. Yeah, so again, like you pull that up, there's a stretch of rounds 3 through 6. The receivers are so good, which is why you and I both like to load up on running backs early. And if you're in the back half in a redraft, you're talking like Cook, Hampton, Chase Brown, Barkley, Henry, Achane are all there. Right. And if you start with 2 of those and then round it out with like McConkey, DJ Moore, and another receiver that's pretty solid. Like that's a pretty good draft.
Yeah. Once you get past the first maybe 4 or 5 receivers, it's all a gamble, and
Yeah.
you know what you're getting with the starting running backs
Yeah.
in these rounds. So, yeah, I'm all about getting those running backs, and yeah, if you got to wait and get a DJ Moore, he's probably going to be
Yeah.
pretty good this year, a Lad McConkey, or even if you wait later and get even Quinshon Judkins, we don't,
Yeah.
or I mean a Q-Joe.
Q-Joe. Exactly. They're calling
Yeah.
him Q-Joe on this. Plus, the other thing is, too, like most of the times, unless the script just goes weird on something, these stud running backs are going to have the ball either with rushes or receptions like 20 to 25 times in a game, where there's sometimes Jamar Chase could get a 3 for 37 in a game unless Joe Flacco's throwing to him, then he's going to get 19 targets in a game. But receivers are so dependent on like script and just the matchup as well, where running backs, they're going to most likely get the volume, which is why I'd rather take a chance on those guys in those first 2 rounds. Because really in the first 2 rounds, you're trying to minimize the risk.
Right.
And you're just trying to get, I think, the safest floor on guys. So if you're looking so let's talk about McCaffrey, because I pulled it up. He was the RB1 in fantasy last year, and then he was around 10 points per game better than the running back 10 was. Where are you comfortable taking McCaffrey? We know Gibbs and Bijan should be the first 2, not only the first 2 running backs off the board, but they should be the first 2 picks in most drafts. Where are you feeling comfortable having McCaffrey drafting him? Will you take him in the first round?
I would not.
Okay.
I would rather have James Cook, Omarion Hampton, just because the amount of miles on those legs. He was healthy last year. He helped me in the father-son league. He did good, but I don't know if that's sustainable.
Right.
And same thing with JT with the Colts.
Yeah.
Just a lot of mileage on there. Second round, great value. First round, there's guys I'd rather take and take a gamble on with youth, and as opposed to age.
Yeah, I would, because he wasn't even that. Like he was that way because of so many receptions is really what carried him, and he wasn't even very efficient with those receptions. And I'm with you though. Like I don't think I would take him in the first, because I still think I would, as much as I like to go running back. Like I would take Chase, St. Brown, I think CeeDee Lamb, and I know Jefferson. I would take 4. I don't know if I'd take Nakua over him with the stuff that's going on off the field, but I would take all 4 of those running or receivers over him. And I'm like you, Cook, Hampton, Chase Brown, Barkley, Achane. Those 5 for sure. So if you're looking at that, those 5 running backs, the 2 running backs, and Gibbs, Robinson, that's 7. And then 4 of the top elite receivers, that's 11. So maybe if I was at 12 and all those guys went, and it's between Nakua and CMC, then maybe I take him in the first round. But I'd probably wait and take him in the second round. So then if he goes off, I can just go, oh, I got McCaffrey in the second round. But then I'd have to pair him with like Henry or something like that. Or I probably would go A.J. Brown and McCaffrey at that point. But yeah, again, and I talked about it before, it's a season-long game, but it's still weekly. And
Right.
I still don't mind taking McCaffrey, because if he gives you 6 really good weeks, you're probably 5-1, 4-2. If McCaffrey's McCaffrey. And then if he gets hurt, then you got to figure it out, which you almost always have to, because there's never a time where you're drafting a team, you let it go, and then it's the same team you're starting week 9 that you did week 1.
No, never.
Because things change with trades and stuff. So I don't mind that, and that's why you got to you want to really draft your team that way. Like if hey, I took McCaffrey, I probably want to load up on some running backs later on that have some upside to them in case he does get hurt. And speaking of that, so McCaffrey, his injury history. Are you a big guy at drafting your own running backs handcuffs?
No, I actually am a big fan of doing the opposite, getting other guys handcuffs. If you get your own handcuff, then what you're doing is basically wasting a roster spot on hoping a dude you drafted early gets hurt. You
Right.
get other people's handcuffs, and if they get hurt, then you've got a commodity. You
Yeah.
know, I don't. I stopped doing my own handcuffs years ago because it's a wasted roster spot, and
Yeah.
you're basically betting on your guy to get hurt, which you don't want anyway. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, if I don't get Kyron Williams, I'm gonna get Blake Corum. You know,
Yeah. 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 I mean, I think it was an old head, old school, like 90s, early 2000s. Like, if you draft this guy, you better get the handcuff because, if he goes down, then you got that guy. Well, most of the time, the backup's not as good as that guy. Like, if Bijan goes down, like, Brian Robinson is not nearly as good as Bijan. So, and again, like, I'm not even a big, like, if McCaffrey goes down, like, I know he went to IU, but Keon Black, I don't know if he's that good. I mean, he's
right?
in San Francisco, but I don't know. So I would rather, if you're going with RB2s or backups, I'd rather do I'd rather try to figure out, hey, I like Jordan Mason better than Aaron Jones. I'd rather take a chance on Jordan Mason in a running back by committee, or Travion Henderson or Ramondre Stevenson, or grab one of the guys in Denver than trying to play I got this guy, so I better get I got Amari and Hampton, so I should try to get Keaton Mitchell.
No,
That's not how it's going to work, because a lot of times those guys get hurt, then teams are going to go grab a guy or somebody because they know they don't have the guy back there on it. Because I had that with like James Cook one year and I had Ray Davis, and when Ray Davis played, he was good, but he never played, and you
right.
don't want him to play. So yeah, so that's like, I think that's an older school kind of thing, and I'm not seeking out for sure like him getting this guy's handcuff. If it happens, it happens. Like I said, it just
No,
some of these later rounds.
you want to get the backup that is still getting work, but if the main guy goes down, you take
Right.
him.
Yeah,
And
like, that's why
I
yeah,
don't focus on that with my guy. I have
no,
focused on other guys like, oh, he's got this guy, I'm going to get,
right,
like
yeah,
if I am going to get Bajel Tootin or somebody else does, I'm going to be like, oh, well, I'll draft C-Rod,
yeah,
later
yeah.
and see how that works.
Yeah, I'm not. People are on like C Rod, and I'm like, I
I'm
don't know.
not.
Like,
Dude, in my main league, my keeper is Bajel Tootin. I think
yeah,
he's going to it's the dude
I think he is. Like,
it's the
and
dude
I
that got drafted by the head coach,
yep,
and he speaks highly of him, and
yep. And why not?
he,
Yeah,
they're talking about a three-headed thing, and it's not going to be. It's going to
it's
be,
not.
unless Bajel Tootin craps the bed, it's going to be
Right.
Roscoe.
Every year it's like that though. We always get worried about like this guy's going to split in and it doesn't. And I saw somebody, and I want to do this. I don't know. Comment if you're watching, if you would like it. There's a X follow that I love. It's Fantasy Receipts. So they call out these guys. So there was a guy, Joel Holka. They are just annihilating him because he had he put his top five. He's like, it was Allen, Lamar Jackson, Burrow, and I can't remember who the last two were. But he had Joe Burrow. He goes, that's how I would draft my quarterbacks. He had Joe Burrow. He'd draft Joe Burrow third. 6 days later, he did a thing. It was like players I'm avoiding, and Joe Burrow was on the list. So it's that kind of stuff. So some of these guys, if you go on X, the fantasy X is ridiculous. And something like, he's not a bot either. Some of these guys I think are bots. Like Joe Hulk has been around for a while because he did daily fantasy forever, and I always liked him. He always seemed like a decent guy, but I don't know if this fantasy him and a couple other guys that they just slammed. So I always thought it'd be cool in the fantasy world to do like WWE promos, like just to call other guys out on shows and have all the fantasy guys kind of do like get mad at each other. But I don't know. I may do that at some point, maybe next
all
year.
in.
I would love it. Yeah, I'd get like a mask or whatever. I thought the best thing to do was to kind of throw in the Tim Robinson hot dog costume thing where
We need to know who did this.
who did yeah, like I put on the mask or the costume and I'd go off on this guy and then I take it all off but leave like one thing on, or you just know I took it off, you see me do it, I'm like, man, what was that all about? That guy's calling him out. But I want to call out a guy. I don't know who he was, but he was talking about how Chris Rodriguez, like, and he put in the article like Chris Rodriguez is going to take the shine away from Tootin at the goal line, and he specifically said in the passing game, and somebody in the comments is like, you do realize how many receptions Chris Rodriguez has had in his 3 years in the NFL, right? And he goes like, "Well, I didn't say he was going to." He starts arguing. He didn't say he was going to like be the receiving back, because you know how many receptions C-Rod has in his 3 years in the NFL.
I'm gonna guess under 30.
Yes, it's 6. So yes, a guy with 6 career receptions is going to eat into Bashal. And Bashal Tootin only had 10 last year, so he didn't have a ton. But if you look, like there's a ton. There's
in 5 attempts or in 7 attempts rushing,
yeah,
within the 5 Bajal Tootin had,
yeah,
he scored 5 out of the 7.
yeah.
So
he's gonna get the inside the 5 work, and there are like he's going by Achan, and people say it's rude to not call him Travis Achan. I don't know how you get Achan from that. I still like calling him ATM because
he claims that is the official way to pronounce it. I think he's from New Orleans. I think that's
something like that.
what he's claiming. If that's what he wants to be called, cool.
I mean, that's fine. So
if
Travis
I mess
Achan,
it up, he should also
right,
be cool with that. You know?
Yeah, exactly. But
we can't be doing this show for this long and then be like, oh, our last name's pronounced Rank.
I mean, that's just
Not
it.
Rank.
Like,
all right, get it
exactly,
right.
so.
And if you don't, I hate you.
Exactly. I let everybody call me that. But if you look, however you want to say his name, ETN. I just like it because I could write that ETN. He had 52 targets, 36 receptions. So they didn't throw the ball a ton to the backs. But there are.
When he's also negating like 200 and something rushes.
Yeah, I mean, he had
goes
260
somewhere,
rushes.
and it's not going to C-Rod. Not all of them.
So that's 300 touches. That's almost 300 touches that Tootin's going to see the majority of them. I'm not worried about C-Rod. There's guys I'm just not worried about, and they want us to try to worry about certain guys like Keaton Mitchell. Like I don't think Vidal's not good, so I'm not even concerned about him. Keaton Mitchell could, like, he is kind of electric. He had some good, decent, like, big time plays for Baltimore last year. So I think McDaniel will scheme some up for him. But if Mitchell had more than like 5 touches in games, that would surprise me. Hampton's so good. I'm not worried about that.
Right.
So again, a lot of that is coach talk. Again, draft guys from good teams. We were talking tight ends, and we kind of went away from that. I did a mock where I took Loveland in the 3rd, and anytime I take a tight end in the first 3 rounds, even in the 4th round, I'm missing out on too many guys, and I don't like how the team looks as much as I think Loveland could be unbelievable this year. I think him and Bowers both could end up having like 140 targets. They could each have 100 receptions. I love them, but I think the price for both and McBride. McBride's the 3rd of the group. I may even put McBride 4th behind Warren because I don't know how good that Cardinals offense is going to be with Nathaniel Hackett running the show. But Bowers at the end of the 2nd and Loveland in the 3rd or 4th, I think is just too steep. Like I just did a mock, and again, a robot's doing it, but like Loveland was still there at the 505. I have no problem taking Loveland at that spot or at the end of the fourth. Like if you were at the turn, I don't mind that, but it's just you're missing out so much. Like I did the one, and it was that whole group of receivers that I like: McConkey, Wilson, Abuka, Moore, like all those guys. Like I took Loveland, and all those guys came off the board because I had the 105. So, are you with me too? Like I'm just gonna, unless one of those guys really falls to the end of the fourth, I'm just waiting on tight end. Are you?
Yeah, with the tight ends, the problem is even the best tight end, the top three, are still probably not producing the same amount of numbers as receivers and running backs in the top eight that you could have gotten there. And then once you get past like the top 3-4 tight ends, it's all about the same. So I would rather get a running back, especially a running back that is a workhorse, which is starting to happen more, or a receiver, and then just, all right, so I missed out on the top 3-4 tight ends, but I've still got this stud running back who's getting this many carries. Yeah, I would rather wait on tight end and just, even if you got to stream it, it's fine.
Here's the only issue with that is if you have to play a tight end, it's one spot. And Trey McBride, and sometimes these are just odd years. Trey McBride had 18.6 fantasy points per game last year. Brock Bowers was second at 14.7. So McBride on a points per game basis was 4 points better than McBride. That's kind of huge in a weekly game that we play. And that's the only issue why I think some people will go for that. Like if you look at the fantasy points, if you look at just raw fantasy points, McBride had 315.9 total fantasy points last year. Kyle Pitts was second at 210. So, and I think 200 came in that one game. So if you look at the history, then even you go back to 2024 with the tight ends, it was a little bit closer. Like McBride and Bowers were right about the same at 15.5 points per game. And then Kittle actually had 15.8. So you have these tight end outlier seasons where one tight end just annihilates somebody, just everybody else. Like that one year Gronk was unbelievable. But most years, I think the tight ends kind of all clump together. So again, there's a lot. I mean, I took one. I just did a draft. It was an auction draft, so I ended up paying a little bit more for Loveland than I really thought we'd go for. But it was a 14 team, so I think in a 14 team, like tight ends, I don't mind paying up for that because if you get one of those top 3 or 4 guys, you are gonna be way better than probably half the league, and you're talking maybe 5, maybe 6 or 7 points different than a guy in the league. So I don't mind that. Who are some late tight ends that you like outside, obviously, the top 4?
Well, I got to feel that Turd Ferguson is going to either George Pickens is going to go crazy or CeeDee Lamb's going to get hurt again. I do like, and you can get somebody that's starting now, and then Sam Laporta is supposed to be coming back, is supposedly healthy now. He's one of those late guys I wouldn't mind grabbing because if he does get healthy, he will do fantastic. Guys like that.
Yeah. I do like Ferguson. He had 8 touchdowns last year, 600 yards. With A.J. Brown
That's
gone.
because CeeDee Lamb got hurt, but still, there's been a repertoire built there, and, you never can tell.
Right. And I tell you a guy that could be sneaky is I was thinking A.J. Brown left. A.J. Brown left. Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert had 11 touchdowns last year, 591 yards, only 82 targets, 6 receptions. So that could go up this year. So he's a guy that I like that no one's really talking about. And then I kind of like Isaiah Likely as well. He's in New York. Their receiving core is not the best. Neighbors coming off an injury. No one really else. And John Harbaugh brought him in. And when Likely got the ball or when Andrews was hurt, like he looked great.
He's
So
an enormous human being. My problem is 2 words: Matt and Nagy.
Exactly. So that could be the issue as well. I don't mind Dalton Kincaid on that Bills offense. They still have Dawson Knox, so that could be an issue. A sneaky guy that was great last year, especially when Schaff was there, is Juwan Johnson. Juwan Johnson had 102 targets last year.
Yeah.
Almost had 900 yards, and he was the if you look at fans, he only had 3 touchdowns, but he was the tight end 8 with only scoring 3 touchdowns last year. I think that offense moves up again with Tyson getting hurt. I think Juwan Johnson.
That's going to help. Yeah, that's going to help him a lot, actually.
Oh yeah, and Kellen
Tyler
Moore's
Shuck's going to be doing checking down.
Yeah, and Kellen Moore's a good offensive coordinator.
Agreed.
I do like that. So again, I think tight ends you wait, quarterbacks I think quarterbacks this year you wait. There's just such good value. It's unbelievable. There's like 20 good quarterbacks. If you're in a 10-teamer, you just wait. I think you do on tight ends too. And there's that middle group that it just is a weird group with Harold Fannin, Laporta, Kelsey, Kittle, where one of those there's talent there. It's just a weird one that I'm like, I would rather, if I'm not getting the top 4, I'm just going to wait and bypass all those guys and just grab one of those late tight ends.
Yeah, if you're in a league that you have to have a tight end, you want to do one of the onesies within the first 5 rounds. I think this is the year where if you can get one of the top 3 tight ends, you take it. But if you can't, I think you can pass on both, actually, on the onesies. And you can get a good quarterback and a serviceable tight end later and just load up on receiver, running back, whatever you feel, whatever the point structure is.
Right.
I think you can once you get past Colston Loveland, I think you can just be like, all right, we're going to punt on quarterback and tight end till at least round 5, 6, something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like if you like, I'm telling you, like the later end quarterbacks, you've got Schaff. I don't think Malik Willis is that great, but anytime you get a running quarterback, like he's going to run. Those 2 guys. You've got Mahomes is going late this year, which is crazy.
It's because of injury.
Yeah, but he still had 5 rushing touchdowns last year. There still should be good. Dart still kind of goes late. Dak still sometimes goes late. Like those guys are almost always out of the top 10. Bo Nix, I just talked about him. He's a top 10 fantasy quarterback in his first 2 years in both fantasy points and fantasy points per game.
And he just got Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, he just got Jalen Waddle. Jared Goff is always serviceable. I love Herbert this year. Even Baker.
Stafford always gets passed on, and the guy is nothing but solid.
Right, exactly. And so, like, Purdy's going late too. Like Tua, even Tua, I would not try to have Tua be my QB1.
I don't think the Falcons want him to be the QB1 at this point.
I'm telling you right now, sign it up. Like I've said it on almost all the fantasy shows I'm on. Get Jack Strand. You're not going to waste a roster spot, but Jack Strand will have that starting job by week 8 because if Tua sucks or dies because he gets hit one more time, they're not going to Penix Envy. Like they know what Penix Envy is, and at some point, the Falcons have talent, and if these guys can't get it, if they start off 2-8, why not go like Jack Strand's like 6'5", he's a beast, he can run. If you're the Falcons, like if we have a guy like Strand that can run this team, and we don't have to pick a quarterback, and we can go get Smith from the Buckeyes and add him to like Drake London and Bijan Robinson, It would be huge. Again, don't go draft Jack Strand. Like, I am just saying Jack Strand's going to get the start. Now, into some deeper dynasty league, maybe to do that. But again,
Look at you. You had Penix envy all year last year, and you're already writing him off.
right. Well, exactly. I'm not he looked good there for a stretch. And that's the weird thing, too. Like, guys like Drake London and some of these guys that are receivers that have bad quarterbacks attached to them kind of are falling. Like London, if London had Justin Herbert thrown to him, London may end up being the end of the first, early second round pick. As of now, he's usually in the third. Like, he's not falling too crazy because he's still Drake London, and he still looked good with Penix Envy throwing to him last year. So, but I don't mind. Like, Garrett Wilson's a guy I don't mind taking because he's gonna Geno Smith's not good. He's not good at all.
He's serviceable.
But he's serviceable, and Garrett Wilson, when healthy, is going to get targeted probably 10 times a game. And that the volume is huge when you're a receiver because if you know a guy's going to get 10 targets, likelihood sometimes he'll get 7 or 8 receptions, and if it's a PPR, that's huge. So I'm not too concerned sometimes of those guys attached to weird guys. Who are some guys then that, like, they say the flag plants? Who are guys that you just are like, I really want to get these guys? What's like a quarterback, running back, receiver, and maybe 2 running backs or receivers if you want. Like, who are you targeting? Let's look at receivers first. I think that's the most interesting. Who are guys in the receiving group that you were like, I will draft way earlier than I need to make sure I get?
As far as receivers go, in the league I'm in, I've been kind of punting on receivers. However, in the father-son league, middle of the second round in 12-man league, Justin Jefferson was there, and it's like, what are we doing? Why are we not? Why is? I get it, he only had 2 touchdowns last year, but there's not a chance I'm going to let him slide.
Right.
I think JSN is going to take a step down as far as receivers really go. I think Devonta Smith, if you can target him, I think it's going to be so much more improved with a different offensive coordinator without AJ Brown clamoring for the ball. The Slim Reaper, I really like. Jets, the fact that Justin Jefferson's going as late as he is shocking. Those are 2 guys I'm targeting early in the late first, early second that I think are just going to benefit from the situation that they are in, and everybody's just overlooking the bad years last year.
Yeah. I tell you, I like those guys. I think AJ Brown is
Agreed.
just gonna go. He's too talented. Number one, number two, like they're going to target him a ton. That Patriots offense should still be good, and I think the combination of him and Vrabel are just going to like have the biggest chip on their shoulder to show the Titans what they could have had.
Right.
And he's just so good. I love him. I love DJ Moore for the Bill. I always like DJ Moore.
And he's going so late in drafts.
Yeah, he is. When we got him, I loved it. He's a good receiver. I don't think with Williams and stuff, it just didn't mesh. I think he's meshing with Allen. Allen's going to get in the ball. It's going to be great. So
he's
love
meshing
DJ.
well until he's not getting whatever he wants.
But
so he's one of those guys, but you want a diva wide receiver. Yeah. You want your wide receivers to be divas. He should be fantastic this year. Next year, maybe different.
Yeah. The good news with him is it's basically him, Shakir, and Keon Coleman. Like, there's no one else really there, so he should get plenty of targets. I love both Chargers receivers. McConkey you're going to have to get him earlier, so I don't mind taking Q-Joe.
I don't know why nobody's called him Q-Joe before this.
I know. We're going to try to get that going with Q-Joe on that. I love Jalen Waddle. I always liked Jalen Waddle, even when he was with Miami. I love him with Denver. And then if I don't go Colston Loveland, I don't mind grabbing one of the Bears receivers. Adunze's foot is an issue, but like before he got hurt last year, he was a top 5 wide receiver in the league,
Right.
numbers wise. And I think they love Burton, and they're going to try to get him the ball.
I think that's the biggest issue is there's a lot of mouths to feed. So
Yeah.
you can get any one of those guys, Loveland or Adunze or Burden,
Yeah.
and it's going to be fine 1 week, and 1 week it's probably not.
Right.
But you're not going to not start them. But I don't think there's any desire or force feeding one guy. So
No.
yes,
But
I would rather
yeah.
get Rome Dunze later than
Yeah.
going early and getting Burden or even
Loveland.
Colston Loveland, unless you have to start a tight end. But
Right.
yeah, I think it's going to be week to week on who gets. I
Right.
think what I take out of that is I think you might want to get Caleb Williams.
He's another guy. He's another quarterback that's going late too. Like he was 58 yards from being the first 4,000. So I think Williams is going to be huge, as that Bears offense is just going to light it up. We talked about running backs a little bit. Like of that first group of running backs, are you really trying to target to get James Cook, Omari, and Hampton over all the rest of those guys because you got Barkley, Henry, CMC all have a ton of miles on them. Achan's in a bad offense. And as much as I like Chase Brown and being a good offense, he's just not like an explosive back. So he really needs to get touchdowns. So I know for me, I love Cook and Hampton the most. And I try to, in the first or second round, at least get one of those guys. So is there one of these guys, are you trying to target one of these running backs more than any of the other ones?
No, exactly what you said. I'm trying to target Cook and Hampton in that field.
Okay.
I'd even if I had the second overall pick, I think I might take Cook or Hampton over Bijan because
Yeah.
I don't know what that offense is going to look like. I
Yeah,
don't
no.
think the Falcons are going to be very good.
Right.
Chase Brown, I would actually group with those guys.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a great year for the Bengals. But no, like the Saquon, I don't know. Derrick Henry, not going to take that early. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm targeting James Cook, Marion Hampton. Yeah, I'm worried about the Derrick Henrys, the CMCs, the Jonathan Taylors, the even Bijan. I don't have a lot of faith.
Yeah.
And Achan, he's good, he's fast, but it's
Yeah.
an offense I don't know about, and he's a little guy.
Yep.
I'm worried.
Yeah. JT's an interesting one because, like, I think he still gets drafted early, but if he's healthy, dude, he's so good.
Yeah.
Like, he gets if that offense is clicking and he stays healthy, like, he could be the top running back. And he's getting drafted probably, I think he's more often than not the third running back off the board. I'm just usually bypassing him.
I
But
took the chance on CMC last year, so I don't know if I can do it 2 years in a row because every game is like substation. And
Yeah.
somebody's going to get hurt.
Exactly. Yeah, so I do like that. And again, are you just avoiding Genty altogether now, or is there, like, if he's in the third round, obviously would that be a
Oh
place
no,
to-
if he was ever in the third round, I'd jump all over that. I don't know what that offense is going to be. Like
Right.
if it was a dynasty league, yeah, dude, I'd be so happy to have him because it's going to be good,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be great this year.
Yeah.
So where his ADP is as opposed to other guys I feel more confident in.
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah,
against Ashton Genty. It's just no.
Yeah.
He's
He
going
hasn't-
way too early. There's guys I like more than him at
Yeah,
that price.
dude, he was a guy that I thought about taking like third overall before the injury because I just think Clint Kubiak's system, it just fits him so well. But he's not falling. I think because people think the injury's probably not that severe because they haven't come out and said it's a high ankle sprain. But he's really not falling. Like, he's still getting drafted early to mid second. So he hasn't fallen off too much because I think people think he's going to be back for week 1 or two. And again, the big thing is I like to draft guys for teams that I think are going to score a lot of points because that usually works out well. I don't mind getting Garrett Wilson, but like Breece Hall, I don't like. I love Breece Hall's talent, but I don't know. Like I don't. The Jets could probably average 17 a game this year. The same with the Dolphins too. That's why another thing with Achane is like I don't think they're going to score a ton, so I have a hard time getting to a guy, and especially if they're down, like he could get some little passing stuff, but like who knows what that's going to look like. So I love the Chargers. I love the Bears. The Lions are always good. Broncos are sneaky, in those type of things. Hey,
Well,
we have
that-
gone to
what I take into when I'm drafting at all is you have to take into what offenses you think are going to score a lot. Yes, and if you are in a PPR, yes, is Devon Achane going to get a bunch of check down passes? Probably.
Yeah.
But there's teams I just don't even think about. I'm not drafting a Jet this year. I'm not drafting a Dolphin this year. There's certain teams where I don't care. The guys are going way earlier than I would want them just because they're the number one guy as a receiver or running back or quarterback on a low scoring team. There's certain teams every year I just go, I'm not drafting any of them.
Yeah. I'm telling you right now, I don't think I'm going to put a Cleveland Brown on any of my list.
No.
Like just that way, then I won't even have to worry about do I take Quinshon Judkins here? Because if he's not on my list, I'll just forget he's even a thing.
Yeah.
I think they are going to be the worst team on there. So we are 2 hours in. Appreciate the 48 of you that are still out there. If you're all bots, that's fine as well. One
we
like,
like you too.
appreciate it. So, Nate, are you sticking around or you're going to bed? Because I think I'm just going to go do some mock drafts and talk about different things. So I appreciate you jumping on so there's someone to talk to.
Well, I mean, are you going to do a mock draft? I can jump in. Or no?
Maybe I might be able to. Who could do that? So let's take a quick break. I'll add up sleeper, and then if you guys, the 48 of you, want to go pee, you can do that. We'll do a 3 minute 29 seconds ad again, and it'll be the same ad that you just saw before. So thanks for tuning in. Still, we got another hour left of mock drafts. Nate will stick around for a little bit, maybe the whole time. Who knows? But appreciate it, and stick around because we have mock drafts, and that's the biggest thing you'll want to see is how some of these play out. So it's Fantasy Sports, Fantasy Football Island here, and we'll be right back.
Hi, golfers. IndyCar Tim here. I want to talk to you a little bit about Golf Central Magazine. It's not just a golf magazine. It's the magazine for everything. Turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Head over to golfcentralmag.com and check out the latest issue. Some of the regular features in Golf Central Magazine: the Golf Bachelorette of the Month, the Golf Bachelor of the Month, the Golf Cart Girl of the Month, Golf History, Grip It, and Sip It. So head over to golfcentralmag.com. It's free. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Golf Central Magazine at golfcentralmag.com. We'll see you there. Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to fanstreamsports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the JP Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our Fanstream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. fanstreamsports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream. fanstreamsports.com.
Hey folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
Today's show is brought to you by Tomstown, a premier craft distillery based in Kansas City, Missouri. Discover their award-winning lineup, including double oaked bourbon, botanical gin, and double grain vodka. Named the best craft vodka by the readers of USA Today. Available for online delivery in 40 states. Visit toms-town.com or their Kansas City distillery to explore more. Elevate your game with Tomstown, where history meets innovation. Please enjoy responsibly. Orion Golf Management Solutions. Orion Management Solutions has tailored its service packages just like it tailors its approach to customers. Some owners need more supervision, while others need periodic assessment of their short-term and long-term strategies and programs. Orion can be called in to develop a business plan with the existing staff, or we can assist with the daily management of a facility or event. Either way, we make sure the client is satisfied and understands the direction the facility needs to go in order to achieve the owner's goals. Orion Management Solutions can help with owner assistance service solutions, daily course management, business plan development, monthly operations, or as-needed consulting services. Whatever your need, Orion Golf Management Solutions can help. Check out oriongolf.com.
Let's go!
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, we're back. Appreciate you letting us go to break here so we can take care of some business. Trying to get some mock drafts going. I think what I'm going to do is just, I think it's not, Sleeper's not letting me log on to here to try to do my mock draft. And it's wanting me to log in, though, for some reason. And it won't let me just do a mock draft. Stupid Sleeper. So I used to be able to do it on here. I don't know what happened to it. So I'm going to try another one. So I'm going to try, the first one I'm going to do is I want to try a double quarterback mock draft, because that's, I think, the way to do it. So I know the one here that we did, the draft simulator, will do that. And it usually does a pretty good job with doing two quarterbacks, where quarterbacks go off the board a lot quicker in two quarterback ones. So I'm going to get to the simulator, and then I'll pull that up for us. And then where's the mock? Why is it? Now everything's all, it's all falling apart on us here in the last hour of the show. Hold on here. Dynasty Simulator. I don't want the Dynasty Simulator. I want just the Draft Simulator. Start a mock draft. There we go. I knew it'd get to it eventually. So we'll do a 12 team. I like doing a 12 team with like two quarterbacks. We'll do a half PPR. Gotta start two quarterbacks. And then we'll play it this way. I don't think we'll do an auction one this time, because I can't remember where the auction one was, but that's a whole different thing. I may try to find that. I'll do an auction one maybe if I can get it pulled up. So just waiting on Nate to get back for this. So we'll pull this up. Can we do it to where we're both? That's too small. I know when we do it, like it's never a good look here. I've got to get some different layouts on it. we could probably do that. Maybe I'll just do the mock simulator. I'll do it more. So, again, you look at the draft board. We're at pick 5 because I forgot to change it. So this one, what we'll do is we'll look at what happens if you get a quarterback early with this draft. So it went Allen, Jackson, May. Jahmyr Gibbs also went. So you could go Bijan there or one of the receivers. Let's just go, and I'm gonna go and just get my boy Justin Herbert, and I'm gonna draft him, and we'll see how that looks. Again, I was hopefully with it's sitting at 5. Hopefully Gibbs would be there. If you see Burrow, Daniels goes, then Robinson, Hurts, Williams, Chase, Dart, Taylor, Nakua, Lawrence, JSN. So, like, if you wait on quarterbacks in that first round, if you're in the front end, it's going to be slim pickings. Because if I would have passed on Herbert and went Robinson, Herbert would have probably went. And then you are sitting with guys like Purdy. I think Shaw is there. Mahomes is gone. So you got Stafford, Goff. So if you go quarterback in the first round, which I don't mind, and now in the second round, I am probably going to wait because now you've got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Justin Jefferson, Cook, Brown. I think I'm going to go receiver because you've got Cook, Brown, Barkley, Achane, Walker, Hampton, Henry are all still available. So Nate, like, I don't think they can see that too well. I may just go that screen the whole time.
Yeah, that's fine.
And we can just talk over it. So, like I said, looking at the draft board, I was at 5. This is a 2-quarterback one, so you're starting 2 quarterbacks. So I was at 5. It went Allen, Gibbs, Jackson, May. I went Herbert because I'm like, I'm just going to go quarterbacks. I forgot to switch my draft spot. It's a 12-teamer. So I just grabbed Herbert because he's my favorite guy. And then all the quarterbacks went off the board.
All
so
right.
I'm not going to my second quarterback yet because it's Purdy, Nick, Stafford, Goff. And then you've got St. Brown, Lamb, Jefferson. And then running backs, you've got Cook, Chase Brown, Barkley, Achane, Walker, Hampton, Henry. I think I want to take one of these receivers. I think I want to get either Jefferson or St. Brown because I think one of those running backs will probably be there. So would you take the safety in St. Brown or maybe the upside in Jefferson?
1,000% the safety in Amon-Ra St. Brown, the sun god.
The sun god. I kind of like that. You know what you're going to get. Good offense.
Yep.
And then, like I said, it worked out well because Cook, Brown, Barkley, Achane, and Henry all went. And who's sitting there in the third round for us? Omari and Hampton. As much as I like A.J. Brown, I could still go Bo Nix. I'm going to wait on quarterback, and you'll see why. So I'll take Omarion Hampton. So I like that as a 2-quarterback draft, starting off with Herbert, St. Brown, Hampton. I get a stud in each of those spots.
Agreed.
Bowers went, so he's the only tight end that's off the board now. And so I'm looking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So half of the teams have both quarterbacks. So going back, one team took 3 running backs off the board with Gibbs, Achane, and Henry. That's a way to go on this too. If you're like, you know what, I'm not getting a quarterback. I'm just going to load up on all the studs and then hopefully trade somebody. So now I'm looking, and again, it's a 2-quarterback. You're starting 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 1 tight end, and there's 2 flex. So now we're looking, do we want to grab our second quarterback now? I say we wait because you still have Goff, Murray, Love, Mayfield, Schuff. Malik Willis went already, which is kind of crazy.
That's insane.
He's the guy I was kind of waiting on. Then you still got Darnold, Jones, Stroud. Like, if you had C.J. Stroud as your other quarterback, it's not the worst. But then you got to figure out, okay, is it better to grab a guy like Goff, Murray, or Schaaf, or do we want to go Brees Hall? I'm not taking Josh Jacobs. I don't know what the deal is with him. He may miss half the season.
Yeah, it's problematic.
Yeah, it still seems too early for a Swift or a Tootin, so I think I'd rather just load up on receivers because you still have like Smith, Rice, Flowers, Tet. Chris Olave is there. So I think it's one of those where I'm going to go like Olave, Smith are the two top end guys, but then you still got McConkey, Waddle, Ibuka. I think I would go Olave over Smith. The Eagles this year I think kind of scare me for some reason. I don't know why. We could still go tight end because McBride and Loveland's there, but I don't want to. So I think I still want to go receiver here. Because
I would go either Smith or Olave.
Yeah, I'm going to go Olave because I never draft Olave in these things. So still coming back around. Then went Rice, Goff, Love, Loveland, Jacobs, Love. Man, the guy went Jeremiah Love and Jordan Love. DJ Moore went too. So DJ, yep, Love. DJ Moore. I tell you what, DJ Moore keeps rising up the draft boards. So he's if you want DJ Moore, you're probably going to have to get him in most like in the 4th round now, I think. And then Jadarian
in the 12-team league, yeah, probably. But he's having that love fest with Jared Allen. There's something to be said about that. Next year might be a total toilet bowl, but this year I think it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah. And so now I'm at the point where, like, you still have Devonta Smith is still there. Flowers, Tet, McConkey, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, Ibuka, McLaurin, Adams, Burden, Odunze, Williams. There's a ton of receivers left. There's still some running backs. I think, though, with a 2-quarterback league, that you have to start 2, and most teams are going to go 3 because they're going to have a guy for bye week. Here's who's left on quarterbacks. So I think we've got to go quarterback here. You've got Kyler, Baker, Tyler Schaaf, Sam Darnold, Indiana Jones, Stroud, Ward, Young, and then you got Brissett, Rodgers, Geno, Tua, Mendo. I think I have to go either Murray or Schaaf here, just to get that, because if all those guys go and I'm going to be stuck having like Jacoby Brissett, Geno Smith, I'm not going to be happy about it. Which is the kind of the struggle if you wait on quarterback. So I think
if I'm looking at Kyler Murray, Tyler Shuck, and Baker Mayfield, I want Baker Mayfield scorched earth this year. Out of those 3, I think Kyler, I think he is going to be much improved and be better. I think I would take Shuck over Murray, but I think I take Baker Mayfield over both of them.
I got you. I like Shuck just because of the rushing upside, and I got to take one here because there's a team, and this is why these bots are weird, because there's no way a team in a 2 QB league is gonna go. I mean, I guess you do, and then trade the 2 teams went 4 running backs first. The one went Gibbs, Achane, Henry, Jeremiah Love. The other one went Bijan, CMC, Kenneth Walker, Javonte Williams. That team, and that's the thing you can do where if you wait on quarterbacks, that's the team I'm going to look to see how their quarterbacks shake out.
Right.
If you have a team where you're starting Bijan and McCaffrey as your running backs, and then you've got Kenneth Walker and Javonte Williams in your flex spots, that's a pretty stout team if you can then get decent receivers, and then you got to still try to find 2 quarterbacks. So I just to see what that guy does if I take a quarterback. Let's go Baker just for the more safety of it. I know Schaaf's got the rushing upside, and we would be able to pair Schaaf with Olave to have that quarterback receiver tandem, but we'll go Baker. See what that guy. I'm gonna see what that guy does. Schaaf's still on the board too, which is interesting. Yeah, that guy ended up getting Kyler, but then he did not pair another quarterback. He went, dude, that team. Okay, so this is so if you wait on quarterback, here's how this team is, and he was in the 108 spot. Bijan, McCaffrey, Walker, Javonte Williams, Kyler Murray, and then he drafted Devonta Smith as his first receiver in the 6th round. So all the tight ends are off. I'm almost tempted to take Schaff here. Although McConkey, Waddle, Ibuka are all on the board. Just to have that third quarterback, because you kind of need a third quarterback here. But I may not, though, because we only have – no, we have St. Brown and Olave. We only have one running back, though. We only have to start 2, so I think Tootin's gone. No, I think Tootin's the one. I think we need to get Tootin.
Grab him.
Because I think one of those receivers could still fall, and I'm not so sold. Like if I'm not sold as much on my third quarterback, because again, if I have C.J. Stroud or Indiana Jones or even Jacoby Brissett as my third quarterback, I'm not hating it, because my whole goal is I probably don't want to start them except on the bye week. So I think we got to go Tootin here just to get our second running back, because I hope. I don't know. I don't know if any of those guys. I know McConkey and Waddle probably will not be there. I doubt Ibuka will either, but we could end up getting one of our Bears.
Just look at the running backs that are there. That's what you got to base it on.
Yeah, I mean, after Tootin, it's Warren, Pollard,
It is literally backups.
Brooks. Yeah, I mean, it's nobody. It's just and all that stuff. So, is Schaff still there? Schaff is still there. This is just interesting because I don't know if this would be how it would go, because I've done enough 2 QB ones where quarterbacks go crazy. But all the receivers went. Then you're
Tyler
looking at,
Shuck.
Yeah, you're looking at Watson, Evans, Parker Washington. I would take at this point, if you could get that third quarterback, just take him.
Especially if Tyler Shuck is your third quarterback, that's a beauty.
Right, exactly. And then I think we got to get him just so we can continue to say Q-Joe, Quentin Johnston.
Agreed.
Yeah. And so, like, if you're looking at now, we're like, how many rounds deep in? So this is the 9th round. We pretty much have our starting team except for tight end. And if you're looking at it, like the 4 elite tight ends are off the board now. Tyler Warren went at the 901. So again, this is what this is just an exercise. I don't really care about rounds.
But these are where the most important picks go, actually.
Yeah.
Because everybody can go through the first 5 to 9 rounds and pick. This is when things start mattering on who you get, what your need is, what you can fill as far as running back. All right, so we're short on running back. Who's here?
Right. So you got, like I said, we're pretty good receiver-wise because we do have St. Brown, Olave, Q-Joe. Having Hampton and Tootin, I think we got our 3 quarterbacks, so we could always trade one. So I think we just go and we just load up on running back. So if we can, I mean, you're gonna end up you've got Bill, Krosky, Merritt, you've got Gainwell, C-Rod, Mason is gone, but Aaron Jones is there. You've got the Mike Washingtons, which I think would still probably fall a little bit. I don't mind like a Gainwell.
Dude, I'm all in on Gainwell on just at this point in the draft, and he's gonna just snipe a bunch of receiving touchdowns, short yardage.
Right.
Kenneth Gainwell. We are short on running back. Of the guys that are left, I think he's the best option.
Right. And then, like, this is when you get to where, which is why I took Johnston. you're looking like the guys left receiver wise. You're looking at Josh Downs, Stephon Diggs, Jordan Addison, and then you're looking at like Mekhi Lemon, Jacoby Myers, Concepcion, Dobbs, Worthy, Golden, Coker, Shaheed, Stribling. It gets bad. Like it gets bad on these receivers because there's none. I don't like any of them. Like Worthy's not bad, Golden's not bad. I like Shaheed, but like the receivers at this point, just
Mekhi Lemon, you got to, maybe
could.
worth taking a chance on. Yeah, nobody I'm excited about.
No,
That's
Josh
for sure.
Downs, kind of. But that's what happens when if you wait too long on receivers, it drops off big time. So that's why it's interesting on these two quarterback ones. Again, if we would have waited with Schaff, we could have got Mike Evans, Parker Washington, Chris Godwin, Christian Watson.
I think Stephon Diggs could be the same as any of those guys.
Yeah.
But that's the one guy I can name that, maybe we shouldn't have taken Shuck.
Right. Like Downs could be something. Like Matthew Golden also. Because you're looking at the receivers, you're still in the same group of like Rashad White, C-Rod, Woody Marks. If you want to take a chance on the Marshawn Lloyds or the Mike Washingtons, I don't mind. This is the kind of the spot where I would take a chance and just go grab Mike Washington if he's there, because he could get some.
We don't know what the future holds. That's
Right.
perfect actually.
And I tell you, like Downs went. We still need a tight end, but like, dude, there's like 8 tight ends off the board. There's still guys I like. I don't care. Here's the thing with this group of receivers. Like, I don't want any Cleveland guy. I don't think Dobbs is going to be much in New England the way Kyle Williams has looked. I'm not a big Coke head with Jalen Coker. Yeah,
He's great, but who's throwing it?
Exactly. I think with this group, I think I would take a chance on Rashid Shaheed because he looked fantastic when he came over with Seattle. If JSN gets a ton, and Shaheed could have some big games. So I think I would take a chance on Shaheed if on any of these guys. I don't mind Worthy either.
No, Shaheed is actually, I would take him over Dobbs and Worthy and all those guys.
So then we're looking. It's round 12. I'm not taking a fourth quarterback because I don't think there's one worth taking.
No.
Like it's not. Except my boy Jack Strand, which we can get the last round. You've got Marshawn Lloyd. You got these backups. Were the running backs even now, like Marshawn Lloyd may be all right to take.
They're all backups.
Yeah. So then you look and you go, tight end, Kelsey, Kincaid, Goddard, Likely, Andrews, Juwan Johnson. They're all kind of similar. I would probably, of this group, I would probably look to get Goddard or Likely or Juwan Johnson. So even then, I'm not even really worried about tight end. So this is the kind of thing where I would rather take chances on guys like Marshawn Lloyd, Alvin Kamara's there. Some people like Stripling's gone. So like, I think I might take a chance more on running, just load up on running backs and see what happens. And I think I would take a chance on Marshawn Lloyd because it looks like Josh Jacobs is going to be suspended. I haven't seen anything yet. And the rest of this, and then you just draft your tight end. I'm not going to go through this because I'm like, it's a great time to get, Zach Branch or Rashad Bateman because he's looking good in camp on that. So 2 quarterbacks, it's interesting. I'm going to go to the draft board because there was the one team. He weighed in on quarterback, and it's Bijan, McCaffrey, Kenneth Walker, Javonte Williams. He's got Devonta Smith, Parker Washington, Wan'Dale Robinson, Michael Wilson, Stephon Diggs, Matthew Golden. and his quarterbacks are C.J. Stroud, Kyler Murray, and this is why I don't mind waiting on quarterback sometimes on a 2 quarterback league. Again, last year I went 12-2 with a guy.
I wouldn't take those 2, but yes.
I mean, no, but like if you have that team he had, I mean,
right.
Bijan, McCaffrey, Walker, Williams, and the receivers. He didn't take his first receiver until round 6, and it's not bad. It's Devonta Smith, Parker Washington, who I'm not sold is going to be great. I think he's going to have probably 806. But then he's got Wandale Robinson, Michael Wilson, Diggs, Matthew Golden. So it's not horrible. He still needs a tight end, but like we were talking about it. Stroud and Murray can be serviceable, but they're not going to win a lot. I would probably not wait that long. But like we won.
Right. That's the problem. If Murray was my second guy,
right,
that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, we went 12-2 with a guy last year that I helped manage his team the last couple of years. And we waited, and going into it, I thought guys like Dart would fall, and they got picked up early. We went in with only 2 quarterbacks, and it freaked him out that we did not have a backup. And I was trying to tell him, like, listen, we went in, we had we drafted in a 2 quarterback league. The only quarterbacks we drafted were, I think I drafted Winston at the end because I'm like, fine, I'll draft a quarterback for you. But it was Trevor Lawrence, Bryce Young, and he was so nervous. And we ended up trading for Knicks at some point because we just were stacked everywhere else. And we went 12-2, and it was one we traded for Knicks, and then Knicks and Trevor Lawrence had 90 points on our bye week, and then they sucked when we had to play the semis and we lost. So it can happen. Like if again. Going back, like Schaaf would have been one. I wouldn't. If it was Murray and Schaaf, I would have minded. Even if we like Baker and Schaaf, like you can do it. You just got to be kind of smart about it. And if and then if you look at the other team that went 4 running backs, he went Gibbs, Achane, Henry, Love, which I don't think is as good as the other group of running backs. Then he went Jordan Love. And then the receivers are Waddle, Devonta Adams. He's got Indiana Jones, Monungai, Jacoby Myers, Aaron Jones, Xavier Worthy, Coker. So not as good. He should have waited on Jeremiah Love since he already had 3 running backs and gone. He could have ended up with Waddle and McConkey, Waddle and Ibuka. So the whole point of doing the 2 quarterback one is you don't have to go quarterback or get 2 quarterbacks in the first 3 rounds. Because if you look at the teams that did that, like the guy who took Allen, he went Allen Purdy, and then he did get Jefferson and Colston Loveland. His running backs are Josh Jacobs, Trevion Henderson, and he went Jameson Williams, DK Metcalf. Then he went 2 tight ends with Warren and Pitts, Addison. He's got Kamara and Charbonnet. So his running back room is not good. Josh Jacobs is going to miss time, and then he's got Henderson, Kamara, Charbonnet. So he went 2 quarterbacks. A guy went Burrow, Dak. He had the 106. And then he went A.J. Brown, T. Higgins. Then he went Breece Hall, Cam Scatterbu, Terry McLaurin, Rico Dowdle, Krosky Merritt. So I don't mind that. And then he's got some backups. But that's not a bad one going quarterback. So if you go quarterback early, I think it's got to be in the middle rounds. Jaden Daniels, Patrick Mahomes, and he went Genty, Pickens, Irving, Flowers, Evans, Pollard. So, again, if you go quarterback, the rest of your team is a little bit weaker than everything.
And I don't like that team with the quarterback they picked. It's that I'm scared.
Oh, yeah, Mahomes and Daniels. Like one guy went Caleb
one guy's
Lawrence.
One guy's hurt, the other guy's hurt.
Yeah. Right. I think there's value into wait on quarterbacks. Like I just wanted to see what happens if we took a quarterback, and I went Herbert. I could have maybe got him in the 2nd round, but if Gibbs would have been there, I would have taken Gibbs.
You go get who you want to get. That is I don't care what the premise is or what the scoring system is. Get the guys. You look at it when you're drafting. Is he going to come back to me? I know it might be early, but
Right.
is he going to come back to me? That's who you get. That's the only advice I ever have is get who you want to get. And if he's not going to fall back to you and you're like, this is way too early. No, screw that. Because if you don't get him and somebody else does, you sit there the whole season going, dadgummit, I wanted that guy.
Yeah, I mean, and that's you get more frustrated if you don't take a guy the round you should have and you try to wait. I did that in the one league down in Cincinnati we've been doing for 35 years. I loved Randy Moss when he was at Marshall coming out. When Randy Moss was still at Marshall, I ended up drafting him that year, and I knew he just sat my bench. I'm like, I'm drafting him just to. I want this guy. I had him first, and then his rookie year comes up, and I'm sitting there. It's like the 7th round, and I'm like, I think I could get Moss because I think most of these people know I drafted him. I think I can get him in the next round. So I ended up taking stupid Keenan McCardle for the Jaguars at that time. And then my buddy Dave, who I've been friends with since 8th grade, took Randy Moss. And I hated the fact that I took stupid Keenan McCardle over Randy Moss. So just take the guys you like. That's just what you do. And it's because this is fun. As much as we want to win, it's still just fun doing things. But you want to go through it a smart way to do that. Like I'm not going to do an auction tonight because that usually takes forever, even with the bots. I'll just do a separate auction draft because that's a whole different monster. If you're not doing an auction draft, because you're afraid to go. Like I'm afraid to put 78 of my $200 on one player because I'm like I'm not going to have any. Like it just depends on how deep and how many guys you have. You can go grab a couple guys because you're going to end up kickers and defense. You're going to do $1 on. You'll probably have 3 to 4 of the guys you're going to put $1 on. So you'll have money and guys. You'll get guys cheap. Again, don't pay up on quarterback. I'll tell you right now. Like I got in
Not
the one
this
I
year.
got. Not this year. No, even in auction drafts, like Mahomes is going for under $10. Herbert usually if he goes under $10 unless he gets bid up early. Trevor Lawrence under $10. Nick's was there's so many quarterbacks in a 10 or 12 team. Just wait, and you can get a good quarterback for like $3, and because just wait. Same with tight ends and that kind of stuff. So I'll do an auction draft separate on this. I don't know if I have enough in me to go the full 3 hours. I think we've done enough mock drafts. I don't know what else really.
Yeah, I'm tired.
We did the 2 quarterback. I don't even know really what else. We could
I just want
draft
to tell
from.
everybody out there, anybody listening, go with your gut. Don't overthink it because I've been on the other end of it where, like we were talking, it's too early to draft this guy. I don't want anybody in the league to make fun of me for drafting this guy too early, and then somebody else does, and he does well. Or I still to this day lost because I started a guy on a Thursday night football game during championship week because I wanted Ahmad Bradshaw to be playing, and the guru had him playing. And he's going to get 5 more points than the other guy. All right. Not getting the guy you want to draft because you are afraid of somebody going, well, that's way too early. Or not starting a guy because somebody's going to be like, why'd you start that guy? Go with your gut always. Because the worst thing is you get to deal with, I went with my gut. The worst thing you could ever have happen is you go against your gut, and then you live with that the rest of your life. Draft-wise, weekly starts, just go with your gut. Go with it.
Are you a big having guys on primetime game or like Thanksgiving? I love having guys on the island games.
Of course, and that has
Thanksgiving.
bit me in the behind a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, you do want that. You're like, oh, too, it's Thursday night. I want to watch something.
It's fun.
It is super fun, but don't go against your gut when you're like,
Don't go crazy starting guys that you shouldn't start. Like Thidoff, the guy that co-hosts Fantasy Football Island with me here on FanstreamSports.com, he loves having guys on Thursday night on Thanksgiving. It's the best. All right, let's do this real quick. We'll pull this up because it's good to know. You were talking about sometimes you have to reach for guys. If you're on the turns, then you're gonna have to, because you, especially on a 12 team, you have 20 some picks until you pick again. So I'm doing one from the 11 spot here.
okay,
So the first round: Gibbs, Chase, Nakua, because I put this as a full PPR. So Gibbs, Chase, Nakua, St. Brown, Bijan, CMC, JSN, Taylor, Walker, Cook. So I'm at the 11. Where are you going with this? I think you and I are on the same page here. You've got receivers. You've got CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown. Running backs, you have Chase Brown, Saquon Barkley, Achane, Amarian Hampton, Derrick Henry. I'm going Hampton in this spot.
I go and
Although I tell you what, I think I want to go Jefferson because I think Hampton will be there at the second. And I think on this kind of thing, doing enough drafts, I think there'll be a solid running back. I think Javonte Williams could be there in the third for us. And I kind of like on these
take the
end
running
ones.
back you want right now first, whether it's Chase Brown, Saquon, O'Marion. You take the running back at this first pick, and then whatever receiver that comes back around is going to be comparable.
Yeah, because here's I don't think the guy.
I don't even want Achane right there.
No.
I'm either taking Chase Brown or Marion Hampton, and that's about it.
Yeah. So
then when it comes back around, the receivers, I like a lot of those guys.
So here's the thing. It's only 12 teams, so there's one guy's picking two guys, and we're up again. So we will have at least one of CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown for us.
Right.
If the guy takes my two favorite, like if he goes Chase Brown, Amarian Hampton, I'll be sad.
Yeah, you're goosed.
Yeah. So I think, because again, I like Jefferson, but if I get stuck with A.J. Brown, then I'll live with that. So I think you are right.
I don't think you're getting stuck with A.J. Brown.
That's what I'm saying.
We don't know what Justin Jefferson's going to have. It should be better.
No, and it's
going to be better than 2 touchdowns. That's for sure.
So that's what I figured might happen. That the guy went Jefferson Lamb. So we could pair him with Chase Brown. We could go running back.
Try that.
But I'm telling you, I think we'll go running back as much like A.J. Brown, because I think we can still get like McConkey, Smith. We could get 2 decent receivers there. I don't know if
T. Higgins might fall back.
Yeah, I don't know if Javonte Williams, like if things go bad because we have 20 picks, if Brown, Barkley, Achane are all going to be gone, Henry's going to be gone, Genty's going to be gone. If the Williams boys, Kyron and Javonte go, then it's going to suck for us, because then we're looking at Jeremiah Love, Josh Jacobs, ETN, Swift. I mean, right. I think
I like the 2 running backs more than I like the running back receiver combo, because the 2 running backs you can get at the spot.
Yeah, I went Javonte Williams.
Surpass.
Yeah, I went Javonte Williams because here's what happened. I went Javonte Williams and it went Saquon, Genty, Chase Brown, Achane, Henry. So it went running back. So like
heavy.
It went of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9
dude,
of
guess what? Javonte Williams is not a sexy pick, but that dude is gonna produce.
He's the only guy there.
The only guy there, and he did great last year.
Yeah. And it works out too because it went Brown, London, Olave, Nico, Josh Allen went. You got Bowers and McBride went. Jeremiah Love. You went Pickens, Rasheed Rice, Kyron Williams, Neighbors, Drake May, Brees Hall, Devonta Smith. So coming back to us, McConkey's there. T. Higgins is there. Flowers, Tet, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle. So I'm taking two of either Higgins, McConkey, and Waddle. So now the thing is, I think they'll all be there because the guy already took two receivers, so he may take running backs or a tight end. I'm not going Loveland here. I'd rather get two receivers. So I think I'm going to go McConkey and then decide whether Higgins, Wilson, Waddle. But I think McConkey would be the one guy to go. I think all three of those guys will probably be there when I draft. So I'm getting McConkey. I think he could be Waddle didn't go.
I want Higgins and McConkey out of all of these.
Yeah. So
ideally.
Yeah. So we got McConkey, and then it went Hall, Waddle went at the turn. Or no, it went Jackson, Waddle at the turn. So I don't mind grabbing Higgins, especially if Chase goes down, gets hurt. Because it's either Higgins or Ibuka, and I think that offense is just better.
Ibuka's banged up.
Yep.
Higgs.
It's T. Higgs because I'm not going Loveland here. Going T. Higgins. So at the turn, so not bad. Hampton, Javonte Williams, Ladd, T. Higgins, Loveland and Warren both go. You get the main running backs there as well, but we already got two because like Jacobs, Etienne, Scatteraboo, Judkins, Swift, Irvin, Montgomery, Tootin, Price. So that's that main group of the next tier, all gone. Flowers, DJ Moore is another guy that I didn't think about because he's down there farther, but I wouldn't have minded DJ Moore over Higgins.
He shouldn't be down as far as he is.
No, but I always forget he wasn't in that. I had to click the more button I should have known DJ Moore. I had to click more.
Yeah,
I probably would have had I seen DJ Moore. I think I would have probably gone DJ Moore over Higgins.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No,
because he's gonna fall. This is how it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
you're gonna be able to do DJ Moore in like the 6th, 7th round, which is retarded.
Yeah, I mean, I think he might be there. Yeah, I think he could fall. So
he falls way too late in everything I've done, which is retarded because he's going to be happy with Josh Allen as well. He should be. And you're going to at least get one good year out of this and let it fall. Let it fall.
He would have been nice to have here. Because now I'm in this spot where if Warren or Loveland would have been here, I would have taken them there. It's too early for quarterbacks. There's still too many good quarterbacks out there. And now I'm in this position where the running backs are the New England guys, the Pittsburgh guys, Tony Pollard, Jonathan Brooks, the Denver guys, the Washington guys, the Minnesota guys, Gainwell. And then you got the receivers where it's like Watson, Adunze, Evans, Parker, Washington, Marvin Harrison Jr., Godwin, Q-Joe. So I don't mind if I'm right here going Adunze.
No.
Of that group. Because I think the running backs are just all meh. And I think guys like Jordan Mason and Gainwell.
I think the only one to get excited about is Travion just to see what could happen. But yes, everybody else is.
Yep, exactly. So getting part of the Bears offense, I'm taking Adunze because I think then Mike Evans, Christian Walker both left. I have a hard time clicking on Parker Washington. All those running backs are still there too because remember.
Dude, they're going to spread that ball around in Jacksonville.
Yeah. So the question again, so now we've got 2 running backs and we have 3 receivers. I still am not taking a tight end, not taking a quarterback. So at this point, we could take a chance on Travion Henderson because I think Godwin could fall back to us. We got McConkey, so I really don't want Cujo. There's still some decent receivers. We got 3 already, so I don't mind taking a chance on it's either Henderson, Jonathan Brooks.
You take the if Travion is there, that's the gamble you take. It's the easiest gamble.
Yeah, he's got such huge
And
upside.
if not, then you just get Tony Pollard, who is the safest bet, non-sexy, gonna get you 1,000 yards and probably 8 to 12 touchdowns.
And when you're it depends how you you've done your team. Like we went Hampton, Javonte Williams, like that is probably one of the safest running back tandems you could have. Williams they're both on good offenses. Williams has no competition. Hampton really doesn't. So if they stay healthy, that is a great tandem at running back. Receiver-wise, you got McConkey, Higgins, and Adunze. So you got 3 guys who, I mean, they're kind of like, they're not like, Higgins is really the wide receiver 2. Adunze could be the wide receiver 2. McConkey could too, but they're all on 3 great offenses that they could get targets. And then when you get to that kind of point, like, okay, Travion Henderson is a wild card that it's a lotto ticket that if it hits, it could be huge. And you take guys like that over Jaylen Warren and safer kind of guys, unless you took a lot of like chances early on. So now we're sitting here, and it's the 7th round. You still got like all those receivers went, so it's like Cujo's really the guy that's still there. You've got, I got to hit this button here. You got Downs, Diggs, Jaden Reed. So you've got some guys. This is that point of the wide receiver room where it's like it kind of sucks. You still have Pollard, Brooks. You still have almost all those running backs there as well. What's I may do
QB situation.
That's what I was going to go. Like at this point, it's one of those things because at the 11, the 12th guy, he already took Lamar Jackson. He took Jefferson, Lamb, Jackson, Waddle, Watson, Evans. He has no running backs right now. So he'll probably take 2 running backs. He won't take a quarterback. And there's not enough around. Like so then other than that, you've got, is it just 1, 2? There's like 5 of the teams still need a quarterback. So I think we could wait till the 8th round because I don't think this guy is going to take another quarterback having Lamar Jackson and no running backs. So that's the other thing you want to look at. Okay, you look at the teams around. Okay, he's got Lamar Jackson. He has no running backs. He's not going to go another quarterback. So we could wait on quarterback here. And then we could take a chance on, again, a guy like Jonathan Brooks is a guy I don't mind taking here because he's our 4th running back.
I'd go Cujo or Jonathan Brooks.
Yeah, since if we did not already have McConkey, I would probably go Cujo.
But yeah, we do have McConkey.
I'm going to go Jonathan Brooks here because again, and then he ended up
either
taking
him or
Dowdle.
Blake Corum. Yeah,
he ended up taking Dowdle and Dobbins. So I think now I'll go grab Justin Herbert, even though like it's 7 quarterbacks left. You still have Herbert, Prescott, Lawrence, Purdy, Nix, Dart, Mahomes. Like, if I didn't love Herbert that much, or if Herbert was gone, I would probably wait. But here's where you're looking at. You go, I would rather go get the quarterback that I really want that I could think be a top 3 QB over Tony Pollard, Blake Corum, Cujo, Josh. Like, I'd rather go get a stud quarterback. So I'm going to go draft Herbert now. And like Herbert, what was that, the 8th round, 9th round? I got Herbert in the 8th round. And then at this point, tight ends, I can kind of wait on. And now it's just kind of filling your roster. And this is where you fill your roster with upside guys. And then like if and then just know like again, it's going to be running backs because the receivers are that Concepcion, Dobbs, Matt Golden kind of range. I may go Rashid Shaheed, but I may try to grab a running back. See, Kenneth Gainwell's there.
Oh, you take Gainwell.
You take Gainwell here.
He's gonna get at least 5 touchdowns.
Dude, he's probably gonna get 5 receptions too. And then you go, do you want to take the chance on the Mike Washington, which I think could maybe wait a little bit? Marshawn Lloyd, I think. Jonah Coleman, I'm not taking him as early as he's going. I think I take Rashid Shaheed here now. Another guy on a good offense. You're just trying to fill the last part of it with upside guys. And again, I'm not going to go draft a backup quarterback. I don't like doing that, even on a 12 team. Looking at tight ends, it's Kelsey, Goddard, Turd Ferguson, Andrews, Johnson. So
you take Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, I could wait.
One of those guys is going to get hurt or get in trouble.
Yeah. And again, I just like the Dallas offense. I've got 2 pieces of it. And then that helps us out on Thanksgiving Day. We'll be sitting pretty because we got a Dunze, we have some Cowboys, so we're sitting set for Thanksgiving Day. And then you're just going to round it out the rest. I think you just I'm not a big guy on getting a backup tight end, but like sometimes though I don't like because right now Purdy, Nix, and Mahomes are still there. Like I don't mind in a 12 team getting one of those guys over Charbonnet, Spears, Jonah Coleman, Pacheco. The receivers are horrible. Keishawn Butte. Like I'd rather take a chance. Like, and I don't know if I'm going to take Mahomes, but like I don't mind going Bo Nix, you know. And now I've got my 2 quarterbacks, and
I don't know.
Nix, Purdy, Mahomes, Goff.
There's a decent amount of quarterbacks I'd be willing to take right now.
Yeah,
and take a chance on. You know, Kyler Murray. I don't know, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm saying
Baker Mayfield. I don't know. Like I'm
I'm
willing to take a chance on any of these quarterbacks over what's left position wise.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm just going to go grab it because like it's really there's nobody here I really like.
Yeah,
and that's the weird part is there's a stretch where I'm like, oh, it's really bad. Like because Mike Washington went off the board. Like it's just not good. So like. I would not do this, but because it's just not going to pan out. Like, just go quarterback crazy and load up on quarterbacks, and then you have trade bait. But, you know what? Why not? Like, just taking Patrick Mahomes, like, because if he's healthy with that, like, why not? Like, let's not overthink it sometimes and be Patrick Mahomes, if healthy, is one of the best quarterbacks in real life and in fantasy. So we got 4 spots left. We're pretty good. We've got 4 receivers. We've got 5 running backs, 2 quarterbacks, and our tight end. I don't think there's a tight end out here that I'm like, yeah, I want to go grab him unless Isaiah Likely is there. But Juwan Johnson, I mean, but I'm like... I can get that. Like Nix is still there. There's really
you like a little strange.
Yeah, there's just the receiver. It's so bad receiver wise. Like I know Jacoby Lane is getting some talk. Chris Bell, Ted Hurst in Tampa is just like there's these guys, but I can get these guys with my last pick. Normally, this is where then I wouldn't mind sometimes going kicker defense, even if it wasn't the last pick. Because here's the thing we've learned tonight. In a 12 team, like the running backs and receivers drop off big time. So that's why wait on tight end, wait on quarterback. I think what I'll do is I'll take I don't know. Like I hate taking a chance on Braylon Allen. this is what we talked about earlier. You just grab like a Ray Davis, then in case something happens with Cook, Ray Davis is the guy. It just there's not a bad. You just grab whoever you think could turn out to be decent.
If you're in a 12-team league that's this deep, I have no beef with picking a guy that is the backup for your guy,
right?
Because it's better than getting Vidal.
Yeah. Do we take a chance on Najee Harris with the Giants in case Cam Scatterbo just does something stupid?
That might be the way to go. We don't, because
I mean,
they signed him for a reason,
right?
Yeah. What's his nuts got Jackson Dart blown up?
He did, and then then you got stuff like right here. You got Bateman, Travis Hunter, and then you got some rookies. If I could find, where is he at?
I mean, maybe Jack Beck or something. I don't know what the Raiders are going to do.
Yeah. I tell you what, man, he is looking good, and he can spread the field. The way Kyle Williams has looked here so far on a deep ball, I'll take a chance on Kyle Williams.
Yeah,
why not?
Yeah, and that's what we're doing at this point is
right.
On a team, we don't know what they're going to look like.
Right. And just because everyone's hyping them up, if we happen to be on them, take Cyrus Allen for the Chiefs. Take shots on teams with, we got...
The Warriors killed Cyrus. The Warriors killed Cyrus.
The Warriors killed Cyrus. And never worry about the draft grade because we got a D+.
Dude, the draft grade is garbage.
It's the stupidest thing. And we made it to pretty much 3 hours. We got 3 minutes left. 51 people watching. Appreciate it. I don't know who you are. Hopefully more people watch it afterwards it drops. But I thought maybe give a chance. I had nothing else going on tonight. I was staying with Xander. We'll probably stay with this weekend, and then we'll see how next week goes. I'll come out to work. Noah's upstairs. They're playing video games, so figured hadn't done a show. I loved the live, doing mock stuff. I was hoping we get more people on, but I knew the timing of it. But you jumped in, which
I threw it out there to some people, but everybody's got stuff going on. It is what it is.
So, and it was just more of a fly by the seat of my pants. I did not have stuff structured as much. I could have had stuff pulled up. But I was just talking the draft. This is more fun. I'm glad you came on because I don't know what this would have been. It would not have been as good had it just been me on it. We would probably had 8 people. So Nate, appreciate it. Get to bed. They have no music on this one either because they switch stuff around and put all our Ohio shows in one spot, and so some of my music is not on there.
Unacceptable.
It's unacceptable. But for the 51
totally
people, here's what we do for the 51 people that are watching. Appreciate it. Fantasy Football Island will be coming 3 days a week, starting next week.
Nice.
We're not going live. The only time we go live is going to be maybe Sundays for Q&A, so check that out. Nate and I, along with our buddy Drew, do March Madness. We talk sports. We're talking college football this week, and then we just go straight into NFL, and we talk NFL, college football, college basketball from here on out. March Madness, we do it once a week. We're doing it Sunday this week. We will end this show, because it's my show, with the intro to the March Madness show. If you think, I don't know if I want to watch this show, I tell you what, no other show
you're going to want to as soon as you see this.
No other show is got intros like we do. So, Nate, I'm going to play this, then I'm going to end the stream. Appreciate you, bud. Love you. And I'll see you next week because I'll be down in Cincinnati. So, excellent.
We're talking brackets, y'all.
We're talking brackets, y'all. Check the show out on Sunday at 2.
In a world with an overkill of sports podcasts, 2 men are brave enough to make one more. A show where topics are endless and brackets are king. FanStream Sports and the Rink Brothers invite you to help make decisions of a lifetime. Where the choice between Fruity Pebbles and the DuckTales theme song can change the course of human history. Sports has a new face. Podcasts have a new enemy. And the world has new heroes in Chadness.
Tune in, bitches.
There you go.